Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are back in Enthusia Professional Racing. Hope you're doing well today. We have the wonderful Skyline 50 GT. It's not a GTR Skyline, but it is still plenty powerful. Should be very quick, be very enjoyable. Go to the settings, let's see. Alright, we already did do the adjustments at the end of the last stream. Let's join a race with it. Got about 260 horsepower in the Sedan version. So not a whole lot, but it's got an okay amount. Got an easy race here at Mirage Crossing. What are we up against? The Renault Avant. You know what? YOLO. It's been a while since we've done a rally race, an off-road race. I think doing a race against a two-door, technically three-door minivan in the Skyline would be a nice warm-up for us. Use a little bit of that rear-wheel drive mess. This vehicle has got the semi-automatic transmission, so no clutch, only flappy paddles, only flippity-floppity paddles. Which on one hand does allow for quicker gear shifts, but on the other hand it does mean you can't really use the clutch too much to aid in cornering and all the other fun stuff. Thankfully it does have all the fun electronic devices on it to help keep it not going in a not going sideways in the dirt, which is good. Although even then, rear-wheel drive cars in this game do not handle sketchy conditions too well. There we go, nice and easy. And you can see down in the bottom right, the traction control is flickering like crazy. Even at higher speeds, the car is struggling to find grip. And if it weren't for all the electronic devices on it, it would be well off course by now. It does kind of show how reliant we are on the technology, though. And even then, I need to kind of like seesaw back and forth with the wheel just a little bit. Because, oh my gosh, this car, not the most stable. It's more stable than you think, but not super stable. Got lots of power though. On a straightaway here, we're going to reach some very high speeds. Got to make sure we slow down enough, probably begin braking right around here. It's a car turned in for the sharp right-hander. See if we can't Scandinavian flick it, get it going back to the left. It is understeering a little bit. It is, the track itself here, it does have reverse banking. Alright, there we go. One of the cool things about this track as well, the Mirage Crossing, is it is semi-randomly generated. I mean, the track layout itself is the same, but like things like how far up or down the water is randomized each and every time. So you do get ever so slightly different variations each time with the track, which is really cool. It is very cool. We have that. Nice. First race one, only a slight collision with the wall there. Minor scrape against the rocks. Should be enough for a first level up. Get the car a little bit lighter, which is good because it is a fairly heavy sedan. Big four-door sedan with a fairly powerful V6 engine in it. Yeah, ranking's going to decrease just a little bit. Now I should probably enter some much more difficult races. Try to maybe, just maybe, keep our ranking within the 10s. Ooh, on the edge. What do we have against here? Yeah, four-wheel drive legacy. Absolutely not. Nope. No, that's not going to go well for us. Alright, here we have the under 4-liter race. Let's do it. Now, I know it says under 4,000, but that's 4,000 cubic centimeters. CCs for short. But 1,000 cubic centimeters is a liter. And it's 63.6, something like that. 63.5, somewhere in that range. Cubic centimeters per... Oh no, cubic inches per liter. Hello, 4HLB GT. Hope you're doing well today. are racing the wonderful Nissan Skyline 350 GT. In the States, it was the Infiniti G35 Sedan. Shares similar chassis and engine components with the Nissan 350Z. The same VQ engine, slightly detuned in the sedan version, making only 250 horsepower instead of 280. But it is still quite quick. Should be able to do fairly well in this race. Only thing we have to worry about, I think, is going to be the Honda NSX behind us. They started very far back, so as long as we can defend against them and avoid having too many slowdowns, we should be good. It does have all of the fun assists as well, electronic stability control, traction control, so you don't have to worry too much about, you know, keeping the car stable. Although the car is just a little bit understeery right now on tarmac. And you can see though, the V6, the VQ V6 engine in here, it does make a decent amount of torque. You're seeing out of the slow corners, the rear tires, they are right on the very limits of traction. If it wasn't for the traction control, we'd definitely be spinning our wheels quite a bit. You can see when the tire lights up red on the VGS in the center, that's when the tire is basically at its limit of grip. And as the tire fills up with weight, that's as it's approaching its grip limits. And when it gets full weight and then begins turning red, that's when it gets a little bit. That's basically when it's broken traction, or right at the very limit of braking traction. You can see we do have a little bit of an inside, for the inside rear tire. It does brake traction just a little bit. So that leads me to believe that we probably should, after this race, lock up the rear differential just a little bit more in order to prevent that. Although it does help with cornering, the higher speed cornering. It is slowing us down quite a bit out of the slower speed corners, because we can't put nearly as much power down on the ground. So that may be something we need to do. I'm surprised we're this far ahead though. That NSX normally does very well on a lot of the city tracks, but it is nowhere to be seen right now. It is very far behind. I guess they kind of they had a little bit of issues getting past some of the other opponents. A lot of understeer there. Ouch. Ford T-Bird still has the lead. The T-Bird, we have plenty of experience with. The T-Bird does not handle well. The T-Bird, that one, the 11th generation T-Bird, with the Jaguar AJ V8 engine in it. It's got a lot of power, but the handling of that vehicle, with it being built on the Lincoln LS, the Ford DEW platform, which was shared with the Lincoln LS and the Jaguar S-Type. That's S as in Sierra type. The chassis itself isn't that great for sporty driving. It was basically a two-door luxury vehicle. It even shared a lot of the same interior components with the Lincoln LS as well, which at the time a lot of people complained about because they wanted the T-Bird to be a little bit more bespoke. That's still an interesting vehicle. It's just not quite the sporty car that some people were hoping for at the time. If you are getting one, I highly recommend getting the later model versions, like the 03 and 04 versions, as those ones came with the higher powered AJ series engines with the variable valve timing. The earlier ones have a bit less power compared to the later versions. But all of them share the same DEW chassis. Fun fact about the Jaguar S-Type that was built on the DEW chassis. Even after Jaguar was purchased by Tata Motors, the Indian car company, for one more generation afterwards, Jaguar still used the DEW, the Ford developed DEW chassis for that generation of S-Type in the late aughts, early 2010s. Very, very cool. Very interesting. Isaac has a wiki connected to his brain. He has Carfax have a feature. Me too. Thank you, Gabriel. No, it's very... I just... Cars are like the one thing that I just hyper fixate on. So I've got a lot of like really useless knowledge on vehicles in my brain. And like in my free time, I usually like to just read up more about different vehicles as well that I've either recently driven on stream or I know I will be driving on stream as well. So the information as well is super fresh. And just cars in general are just very fun. I love motorsport is basically, you know, like my biggest hobby. Yeah, it started, you know, when I was, you know, really young, like 2 years old. I'd watch like NASCAR and IndyCar. Granted, back then it was during the splits. If you're not familiar with the splits, during the 90s and all the way up until 2008, IndyCar was split into two series. You had CART and you had the Indy Racing League. And the split was mainly caused by Tony George and some of the smaller teams being angry that some of the larger teams had more money and were able to develop faster vehicles at the time because you had multiple different chassis, multiple different engine suppliers. Nowadays, IndyCar only has 2 engine suppliers and they all run a single spec Dallara chassis. It's the IR18, which was developed from the DW12, which was created in 2012. But back during the 90s and 80s, there was, I think, 3 or 4 chassis. You had the Renard, you had the Lola, and there was one other chassis. It may have been the Ligier chassis. I'm not too familiar. I know the 2 big ones were the Renard and the Lola chassis, though. Those were the big ones. And those were very, very competitive. And you had like 4 or 5 different engine manufacturers. Some of them coming, some of them going. You had Toyota, you had Honda, you had Chevrolet, you had Mercedes at one point as well before they began getting back into Formula One, developing engines for McLaren. So you even had like Ford as well. Ford was an engine manufacturer for a time. But in the same token, that made costs very, very expensive. Whoa! Hi there. That Mercedes came out of absolutely nowhere. I just realized we forgot to lock the rear differential a bit more. That's fine. We'll be fine. Have I seen Brazilian stock car? A little bit, yeah. It's hard to catch English. It's hard to catch English broadcasts here in the States, but I am familiar with Brazilian stock car, and oh my gosh, those things are so cool. I definitely, one thing I would love, because IndyCar right now is looking to potentially get into more like foreign markets and everything. Is one thing I would love is to maybe do like basically a double header type event where the Brazilian stock cars, they come up and race at like either like Circuit of the Americas or like the Indianapolis road course. And then you know, they be like this, for lack of better words, like the support race for like the big, you know, Indianapolis and the Grand Prix and everything. Not the Indy 500, but like the race that they race on the road course version of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then in exchange, IndyCar goes down to Brazil and races like a support race for Brazilian stock car at like Interlagos or something, or one of the street courses. And I think that would be really, really cool, because you can get a lot of the you can get a lot of like, you know, big name drivers in both series racing on like, you know, tracks that they're not necessarily as used to. And I think that'd be really, really cool. I'd love to see that happen. And also, that Golf R32 is absolutely dominating right now. Like, oh my word. Also, I hope is everything going okay with the stream? The preview that I'm watching on YouTube, the preview has crashed, but I'm hoping the actual stream, like I'm not getting any warnings from like OBS or anything. Are you guys able to hear and see me okay? Like nothing stuttering, nothing like that. I'm hoping there's no issues. Looks like I'm gonna meet. Okay, excellent. Good. Thank you so much. Normally I use the preview. I have a preview up in my top left monitor. That way I can kind of see if there's any issues, what have you. And I have it set so I don't count as a viewer myself. I think YouTube kind of prevents you from like watching your videos and your stuff and counting as a view, which is fine, because I don't want to cheat the system or anything like that. But I do keep it up just so I can see what's going on the YouTube, both on the streamer end going out, and then also what's coming in as well. But yeah. There we go. Alright, we're kind of right now in the mid-pack, in fourth. That could go, oh no, okay, it's a Jaguar S-Type that's in the lead right now. Brutally quick Jaguar. Nice. Right now we're mainly kind of going fairly slow. I was hoping we'd at least get up onto the podium position. Before the place will still give us plenty of points for the rankings. But no, I definitely love to watch like Brazilian stock car. I'd love for them to come to the States one time, just so I can watch their racing. It's the same thing with the Australian supercars as well. The British Mondeo. Oh yeah, the Ford. Oh, the Ford Mondeo as well. Oh my gosh, the BTCC cars of like the late 90s, like the super touring era of BTCC. Those cars were so cool. I've seen like demonstration runs and everything, and the super high revving like little inline 4-cylinder engines they had. Oh my gosh, it sounds amazing. I believe Rubensburg Hello's son competes in the stock car. Oh, nice. Very cool. Like I said, you do have some big names in like Brazilian stock car. Like, I'm trying to remember. I think Emerson Fittipaldi, if he isn't still competing, maybe it's a different Fittipaldi. It might be a different Fittipaldi. But I believe there's also a Fittipaldi competing in Brazilian stock car. Maybe my dates are a little bit messed up. I do know, granted, that's financially off the table right now, but I do know that if I get into iRacing, that is one series I do want to compete in a bit more. I do want to compete in like the Brazilian stock car racing. I want to do that and the Australian supercars on iRacing. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Doing the big, heavyweight touring cars with the big V8 engine, something a little bit different from what I normally. Because my main like racing stuff, but the racing I like the most is open wheel and endurance racing. So trying to learn how to drive the touring cars and everything, and racing the touring cars, I think would be a lot of fun. And I would love to do that on like iRacing or some other sim, if there's a different sim that gets created that focuses more on like the touring car stuff. I would love to try some of that stuff out. I know I would need to practice quite a bit to be even remotely competitive in a lot of like sim racing stuff though. Because while the theory knowledge and everything, trail braking, throttle control and everything is all there, I can understand it when someone points it out. Actually doing it, especially in the heat of the moment when you're battling, real life people, I definitely need more training. I do want to eventually get back into sim racing a bit more. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Right now, the closest thing to sim I'm doing on stream is Enthusia, which, granted, for a PS2 game, has a really good suspension model. The cars definitely feel very weighty, but it does have a very simplified tire model because, well, it's a PS2 game. You're limited a little bit in that regards as to how you know how much data you can have going at a time. It is still a very good sim KE type of racing game though. Highly recommend if you do have like a PS2 emulator, or if you have a PS2, I definitely recommend checking out Enthusia as well. I definitely put it up there. I definitely put it up as a very serious competitor to Gran Turismo 3 and 4. Where some things it does really well, some things not as much. Definitely has a much more open-ended career mode, which not everyone likes. And there is fewer racing vehicles in the game compared to both the Gran Turismo games. But if you want to race, if you want to race like production vehicles and everything against each other, this game does a very good job with that, and making sure that no matter what car you're driving, you can be competitive against other opponents. Reasonably competitive. Midnight, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the files you sent me for the getting the Midnight Club 3 all set up. Nah, I play real sim racing like Mario Kart. Oh gosh! Way too late on the brakes there. Hey, I mean, I enjoy my arcade races as well. Racing games in general need more love, and I think the disparity between like sim racing games and arcade racing games, I definitely think both of them have their benefits. Both of them can be enjoyed without diminishing the other. And although kart racers aren't necessarily my big thing, they are still really cool, and they're a good means of getting people that aren't as familiar with the racing genre. They're a good like stepping stone for getting them into racing as well. They have the competitive nature. The NBA final started tonight. Oh yeah, I saw that. Very cool. Denver is GG in that aspect. Denver, bravo. So who all is in the finals now? What are the 4 teams, I think? It's the 4 teams. It's the East versus West. I mean, he's always just ask me that how to play Mario Kart. Mario Kart was definitely one of my introductions to the racing genre as well when I was younger. My older cousins, they had ads between just Miami and Denver. Oh, okay, nice. Oh man, it'd be kind of cool if Miami wins though. Coming from an 8-seeded team to winning it, that'd be nice. Yeah, but when I was younger, my cousins, they had the Super Nintendo. I'm dating myself a little bit, but the Super Nintendo, and they had the Super Mario Kart on it. And oh my gosh, that was so much fun. That, and they had F-Zero on the Super Nintendo, and I used to play that all the time when I'd go over their house before I got my own my own console and everything. Though the PS2 as my first console. And oh my gosh, it was just so much fun. I really enjoyed in Super Mario Kart. I enjoyed the Ghost House ones because I don't know why. I kind of like the spooky vibes and everything. But that's why, despite like the newer Mario games having more complexity and more detail tracks and everything, Super Mario Kart still has a very soft spot in my heart as one of my favorite Mario Kart games. And that's why like I said, I do enjoy the I do even like when the older Mario Kart tracks get added to the newer Mario Kart games. I do enjoy the classic tracks a lot. At the gold tires Mario Kart 8. Bravo, that is a long grind. Nice, there we go. That's an okay 4th place finish against other faster vehicles. That's not too bad. Could have done a little bit better, but we could have done a lot worse as well. So, this will be enough to level up the vehicle though. Get the car much faster. Driver level up as well. It's been a while since we leveled up the driver level. There we go. Engine power is increased, and the car weight has been decreased. Even better. Ow. I just hit my hand on my desk. So what are the what gold parts do you have left to unlock in Mario Kart 8? I'm not as familiar with what order they unlocked in. I know you have to get a certain number of coins, I believe, in order to get them, in order to get all of the parts in Mario Kart 8. But I forget what order it is. Is it gold tires, then like the gold chassis, then like the gold paraglider? Or is am I order completely wrong? It's kart glider and gold Mario. Okay. Alright, I forgot about gold Mario. Yeah, I remember my cousin, because he's a big Mario Kart fan. He loves all the Mario Kart games. Mario in general, he loves all the Mario games. But I remember him messaging me when he got gold Mario. He's like, dude, I got it. It was like the big, yeah, different unlock requirements. Okay, I must be misremembering that. That's my mistake. But I remember him messaging me like at like 2 a.m. on Discord a couple months back when he unlocked like everything. He's like, I got it, and I'm like, great, bruh. It's 3 a.m. on a Monday, but 2 a.m. on a Monday. I'm tired. Let me go to sleep. And then like the next morning, then I actually like saw the message like, oh wow, good job, GG. Oh wait, this thing definitely feels a lot better with the weight reduction. Feels a little bit more responsive. A little bit more power as well, which is nice. For the tires, you need to beat all the staff time trial ghosts. Oh, nice. I always enjoy like the time trial mode when you go up against like the staff members. Like that's the one thing I really enjoyed about Gran Turismo 3 is their time trial mode. You go up against the various staff members. This game is a very interesting PS2 game. It's a very underrated PS2 game. I definitely think more people. I wish this game got more recognition, because it deserves more recognition, because it is a very good game. It's a you know it's a simcade and everything. It's got a very complex suspension model for its time as well, and it is a very good game. I quite like it a lot. It's a game that kind of encourages you to have all the you know, to stay with the vehicle for a longer time, and to kind of learn the quirks of the vehicle and adjust your driving style and adjust the tuning of the car a little bit to those quirks. It is very fun. For gliding at 5,000 coins, that is a lot. I mean, you think that if you get 10 coins per race, you're still gonna need to get you're still gonna need to do 500 perfect races. That's gonna take a while. But, you know, I love doing like the staff time trials. That's one of my favorite parts in Gran Turismo 3. As the final time trial, you have the Roof RGT, which is basically a heavily modified 996 generation Porsche 911, and you're going up against the gold time is created by Kazunori Yamauchi. And if you're not familiar with Kazunori Yamauchi, he is the guy that basically created Gran Turismo. So you're going up against his time, and essentially, because he loves Porsche 911s, you're going up against his time on one of the hardest tracks in Gran Turismo 3, in Kaz's favorite vehicle. And oh my gosh, it is a very tricky. It's difficult to beat that time, because you can't go off course, you can't do any like, you know, course cutting or anything like that. No hitting any walls. You need to get a gold trophy in 150cc Umbras. Okay, that one doesn't seem too bad. Maybe you still need to do pretty much a perfect run to get the gold trophy. But still, that's not atrocious. Big jump. More big jump. Alright. Start braking just before the 100 meters. Oh, I got very squirrely in the braking there. We have the Mercedes, the AMG. I think it's a Mercedes AMG. Gold Mario trophies from 200cc. Oh my word. Okay, that one's a difficult one right there. I do wish you the best of luck in getting the other gold items. GG on the gold tires though. Beating the staff time trials. Those are a little bit difficult as well, because you're basically going up against people that have made the game and kind of know the game more or less inside and out. And they're probably basically like doing it one shot, first take. If they make any mistakes, they make a mistake. But even then, like some of those time trials can be very tricky. I definitely miss some of like that type of aspect of older games as well. Oh, this was ES Warriors Stadium. Yeah, because of all the jumps and everything, I'd imagine getting that all right. Plus, I think that one has a shortcut. Regardless, though, that one is a very, very mechanically complex track, and it's very easy to lose time if you're not careful. One thing I do miss from the modern Mario Kart games, though, that was in the DS version, is the mission node. The mission node is so cool. Doing all the, like, because it kind of reused a lot of, like, the tracks and everything. But it recontextualized them in order to do missions on them. And it was very, very, very cool. I definitely like that a lot. Easiest was Yoshi Valley. I'm trying to remember, is Yoshi Valley one of the newer tracks there? Like, that was released with Mario Kart 8. Whereas Yoshi Valley, there's so many, like, Yoshi X, Luigi circuits, Mario circuits, Peach circuits, and everything. I'm trying to remember which one is from where is a little bit confusing. That's not the one that's shaped with shaped like an egg. It has the waterfall. Oh no, Yoshi Valley was from Mario Kart 64. Oh, that's the one with the maze and the egg, right? Yeah. That one was a tricky one in Mario Kart 64. Because the map itself, it kind of showed the maze, but it didn't really show where you were in the maze. So you kind of had to guess which direction was the quickest. And even then, that was a tricky one. People that are really good in Mario Kart, the speedrun energy. Yeah, no, I definitely do not have the speedrun energy. I'm a casual player. I can be okay-ish. I know enough about the game's mechanics to kind of explain what the speedrunners are doing, but I do not have the mechanical ability to do what the speedrunners do. Ooh, that Mercedes went way wider. I know the fast sort isn't too bad. Oh, nice. Very, very cool. That one, it just comes down to really knowing the track, knowing which direction is the fastest and everything. GG regardless. That is no easy feat. The other reason I like the staff time trials in Gran Turismo 3 so much is you can access them right at the start of the game. And if you get all gold in them, you get the Pano's Esperante race car. So you can literally get your first car in the game, have it be a racing car. And then from there you can do, once you get your licenses and everything, you can basically do amateur and professional events and get other high-end, high-performance vehicles really, really early on, so you don't have to grind through like the beginner events as much to get the vehicles you want or need. You basically hit the ground running if you can do that. Alternatively, if you do all gold and all the licenses, that's a very easy way to just do really well in the early game Gran Turismos. At least until they kind of fix that with, not necessarily fix that, but kind of broke that a bit with Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo 6. Making it so you can't do the licenses first because you have in Gran Turismo 5 you had the level requirements. And in Gran Turismo 6 you had the, whatchamacallit, the star system, which was absolutely dreadful. The Nintendo 64, the only race game that had, it's called GT64 Championship Edition, had the oh, sweet. Oh yeah, I love the old JGTC cars. That was cool. which games do I think had better customization? Midnight Club 3 or LA? That's a tough one. That is a very tough one. 3 had more parts. 3 had more you can kind of do to a vehicle. But a lot of the parts, especially for the tuners, were repeat parts. So something you could get for an Eclipse, you could also get for, you know, the Dodge SRT4 or the Supra. In Midnight Club LA, all the parts, granted you only have 4 parts per category, but you had, each part was unique to that car. And you also had the custom wide bodies as well, which some of the custom wide bodies were pretty good looking. So basically it comes down to, do you prefer quality or quantity? And in that regards, I think it's a close one, but I think Midnight Club 3 has slightly better customization compared to Midnight Club LA. Ever so slightly. But it is a lot closer than you think, at least in my book. It is a very close competition. The interior stuff in LA is so cool. That is true. Yeah, because you have like the racing wheels and like the bucket seats and everything, and you can like completely change the color in the vehicle as well. Yeah, that is true. Oh man, that's a tough one. One thing's certain, LA has a better livery editor. True. LA does have a very good livery editor. It hasn't aged quite as well compared to the other livery editors because some of the items, when you change the color of them, it just adds a colored tint to it. So if something's red and you just color it like green, well now it's kind of going to be this like brownish color instead of actually green, which makes it a little bit annoying. But otherwise, yeah, LA has a very good livery editor. And one thing that I would love to see brought back, if not in you know, like a Rockstar game, but at least in some game, I would love to see the Rate My Ride feature come back in other automotive or other racing games. I definitely think that was a really cool feature, and I would love to see that happen more often, because then you can really kind of see, not only do you get inspiration and everything, but you could literally purchase people's customization in cars right from there, and they'd make money from that sale. And I remember during the earlier days of it, well, I mean, when I first started out, but I don't really make my own liveries because I have no creativity. For me, I have some creativity. I don't necessarily have the skill for liveries, at least for like super complex liveries. I know during the early days of Rate My Ride, I do a lot of like the lowrider liveries. Yeah, the lowrider liveries were really cool, and I put them on like, you know, the Buick Rivieras or the Chevy Bel Airs and stuff. And that's how I'd make a lot of money like early on when I first started playing the game. Is basically like as soon as I unlocked like the South Central section, and I got, you know, all the lowrider cars and got enough customization for them, I do that. And some of them, a lot of them would be kind of more simplistic two-tones and everything, with, you know, some slight like floral patterns or something like that. But it was still really enjoyable, really fun to make. Thank goodness that yeah. The three main liveries aren't too bad. I do like the fire one, the high gloss black with like the airbrush flames. That one is pretty cool looking. That one's not bad. Although I will say though that some of the customization in both Midnight Club 3 and Midnight Club LA is a little bit dated, which is just the unfortunate nature of the evolving car customization culture. But it's still really cool. I think it made a really cool looking Camaro concept. Oh yeah, the Camaro and the Challenger concept is all really cool cars in Midnight Club LA. I learned to mod liveries and use heats just to make Atasha cars. Oh, the Atasha. Oh, so sweet. And there's one guy There's one guy I follow on Twitter called Luke Redgrave. I'm gonna shout out him. He makes a whole bunch of like Natasha liveries and everything of like different VTubers and like other like different anime people and stuff. And oh my gosh, the stuff he creates is so good. Him and he does some really, he does mostly Gran Turismo 7 and Sport cars. But oh my gosh, the liveries he creates, so good. I might get Lego 2K drive soon. Let me know how that is. I saw it, and I was kind of... I definitely want to see what it is like. Right now, funds are a little bit, you know... I'm definitely in funds saving mode right now due to personal issues and everything. So I'm not going to be buying any new games anytime shortly. But I definitely want to see how if that one is any good or not. I've seen a little bit of gameplay and it looks interesting. The big thing is always how the cars handle. Cause I'm not the biggest fan of like the brake to drift handling model and stuff. And if the game has it, it's definitely going to kind of dampen my thoughts on it a little bit. Oh my gosh, I love racing on the Nordschleife. It's just very calming. The track itself, it just has a rhythm, a flow to it. And after so many laps, you're able to just memorize it. So many corners, and yet you just kind of pack it all into your brain and just turn it into muscle memory. I think spending almost an entire week on Mission 34 alone the last time I did Gran Turismo 4, like a 100% playthrough of Gran Turismo 4, probably helped a little bit with that. Oh, that's still gonna be looming over my head for whenever I end up streaming the Gran Turismo games. Like, reminds me, they're making the Hot Wheels Unleashed too. Yeah, I saw that. I definitely want to see, like, I see they're adding like off-road sections and like motorbikes and monster trucks in the game. But I want to see how like that actually gets implemented if cars have like an off-road stat in it as well. Because I know in Hot Wheels Unleashed 1, like some of the larger, heavier vehicles were like very low tier, despite them having like massive amounts of boost. They just didn't have the speed or handling to really do well in the races, so everyone would kind of gravitate towards like the Coding Sig Jesco or the Racing Drone or the Formula 1 car. Yeah, I hope they remove the loot box stuff as well. That doesn't have a place in a mostly single player game. Just have a rotating store and just let us buy it with money in game. And with that, then you can actually have people, you know, actually doing the online stuff. So not just trying to grind for loot boxes. What do I think of the Gran Turismo movie from the trailer so far? Okay, yeah. It looks a little bit cringe. But I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna kind of withhold my judgment until I see a little bit more of it. But right now, it definitely doesn't look like on the par of, you know, Rush or Ford versus Ferrari. It definitely seems a little bit kind of campier, a little bit cringier. But I mean, they could turn that around. They maybe it's just, you know, the trailer itself kind of showcasing some of the more overly dramatized parts. But I mean, I don't know. Oh gosh. Oh dear. A little bit wide there. A little bit. Couple tires onto the dirt. Gran Turismo movie needed that one guy with meme delivery that is insanely fast. Yes. Just have one guy with like Doge stickers all over his car. That just absolutely blitzes through the field. That's one thing I will, as much hate as I throw at Gran Turismo 7, and slightly with Gran Turismo Sport, I'm kind of going away from the Gran Turismo formula and having a very weak campaign mode. They do have a very good livery editor. A very, like, That's probably the most robust livery editor I have seen in my life, with Gran Turismo Sport and Gran Turismo 7. So I will give credit to Polyphony in that regard. They did a very good job with the livery editor. It's a downside that changing the vehicle's color counts as a livery, which is annoying, but oh well. You can't just paint your vehicle and have all like the stickers and everything stay over top of that. Nope, you need to kind of get those stickers again off, like, you know, off of the community tab, and then resize and replace them back on the vehicle as close as you can to get to like the stock vehicle. You gonna use the HD textures from Nickel 3? Probably not. Probably not. I am probably gonna use the widescreen patch. I'm gonna use some of the other fixes and everything. But I mean the textures themselves. I mean it is a PS2 game, and I kind of enjoy sort of like the older style of like the PS2 games as well. The older vibes that those games had. So I might keep the original textures. Just so then as well, you can kind of showcase what the game was with like only slight improvements for, you know, end user convenience. There we go. I'm not sure what this vehicle's problem is. Whenever you go across the line and the game takes control away from you, and the car just completely decides to shift down and then back up real quick for some reason. Very strange. I had some minor off-course sections there. Car turned a little bit into a rallycross car. That's alright. There we go. This thing, more power. Much more power. Very good. Yeah, our ranking's gonna decrease just a little bit. That's fine. All right, next race. Let's see what we can do. It's gonna be a dual race with rear-wheel drive cars. Is the RS event, Winter Trom, and we're up against the Porsche RGT. Yeah, no, nada, nope, absolutely not. That is not gonna go well for us. The Skyline 350 GT already is a little bit sus off-road. Going up against a Porsche off-road, and that's gonna be a mess. That is gonna be a very unfun experience. Granted, a very realistically unfun experience because both the high-powered rear-wheel drive cars in super slushy, super snowy conditions, but unfun experience regardless. That's the thing. I gotta learn how to. I definitely need to. If I do sim racing, I want to learn how to drive like really quickly off-road as well. Because that's one thing I don't really know as much about is the the driving theory for racing off-road. When I get 2K drive, I might make the Batmobile. Oh, that would be cool. Which version of the Batmobile? The Adam West Lincoln Futura, the Michael Keaton 1980s Batmobile with the jet engine in the back, or the Dark Knight trilogy Batmobile? Which version are you gonna make? Because there's so many. Everyone's got a favorite Batmobile. My personal favorite is the Adam West Batmobile. But all other Batmobiles just have this cool vibe to them. There's so many. I'm making a few. Yeah, no, like that's the thing as well. Like there's so many good options. Though, like I said, my favorite is still the Adam West version, because that one, it's you know, it looks like a regular civilian vehicle just with like a slightly different livery. But it's still got like the cool gadgets and everything on it. So it's almost got like the James Bond, you know, super rich billionaire, but you know, that has, you know, kind of like using a company to kind of modify their own equipment and everything, as opposed to a guy that basically has, you know, something that would never even be even close to street legal. Basically driving around in a tank. That make the 1989 one first. I mean, that one is still really cool as well. With the massive jet engine on the back, the super long front nose. That one is really cool too. I mean, all of them are very cool vehicles. Come on, we need to get back up there with the NSX. That is a very quick car. Just seeing it now, just how quick it is. We're trying to keep up with it. We're doing okay. That NSX is very rapid. The new Batmobile as well from the I forget what it's from. The newest Batmobile also looks pretty cool as well. It almost kind of has like looks a little bit more like street oriented, kind of almost like a muscle car type vehicle, but still has like, you know, the armor plating and all that stuff as well. That one's a cool one as well. I like that one quite a bit. The Batman, yes, that one. The Batmobile from that one looks pretty. That one looks really nice as well, actually. But my favorite is still the Lincoln Future Batmobile from the Adam West Batman movies. Movie? That one, yes. Because they literally just took a Lincoln Futura, which was like a concept car, concept/show car during like the 50s. They repainted it and added a few minor gizmos and gadgets and stuff to it. Yeah, the new one looks like a treasure. Hopefully it doesn't shut to talk about the family. The Bat Family. The Bat Family. You got Barbara Gordon and Tim Drake and Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne and Bruce Wayne. The Bat Family. Batman jumps the Batmobile off of a cliff, uses a grappling hook to have the car swing around and smash into a helicopter. Batman jumps out of the vehicle unscathed, and then fist fights Jason Momoa or some other WWE actor, WWE person turned actor, whoever the next one is. My parents are dead, Toretto. Oh. That's alright, you can still have this family. And then Joker kills all of them too, because, whoops. Yes, being a superhero would kind of suck, actually. Like, in the comic books, like, no matter what kind of superhero you are, like, you always have people like getting put in danger and everything, or having like loved ones, like, you know, having their lives risked and all that stuff. Being a superhero would kind of be very, very unfun. It definitely wouldn't be fun. Like, Spider-Man gets the worst of it, because, like, everyone Spider-Man is ever close to gets hurt or put in danger and everything, so he's kind of, it never ends well for him. But, ow. But, like, Batman's a close second. You know, the very few times Batman kind of, you know, has, you know, kind of begins, you know, have things go well for him. You know, something else happens that gets him back into the game, and then, like, you know, that annoys the person enough to get them to leave them or whatever. Gotta see which parts I can actually use in the game. That is true as well. Hopefully they have a lot of customization options, and they really allow you to kind of build your own vehicle and everything. That would be really cool. Like, it has the potential to be, like, you know, racing game of the year. Spider-Man not only suffers, but he's broke. Poor guy. Yeah, I used to think, you know, Spider-Man, he's got a background in chemical engineering, right? He you know, he made, like, his own, like, web fluid and everything like that. You know, he's like a genius. Surely you can't be broke. And then I graduated college. With an engineering degree, and then I realized, oh wait, oh dang, that's actually a little bit more true than I thought. Oof. I'm sorry, that got a little bit too really relatable. Poor Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man is probably one of my favorites of the superheroes. Just because, you know, he's like the super, you know, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's not out, you know, saving the world. He's, you know, kind of stopping crime. He's protecting, you know, like the little guy and everything, which is really, really, really cool. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we can do. I haven't raced on Wintertrom yet. Not Wintertrom. We haven't raced on Low Insuring yet. I really don't want to race on Wintertrom in the Skyline. That is going to be an absolute mess. I got a degree. I'm finally half Batman, half Spider-Man. No powers and no. Yep. Ain't that the truth? Oh well. I have enough to at least be kind of comfortable. You know, I have enough to be happy. But definitely different than what, you know, 10-year-old Isaac thought. Well, oh, I'm gonna be an engineer. I'm gonna live in a big house and all that stuff. You know, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of fancy cars and everything. Nah, that ain't how it works, buddy. That isn't how it works, Tiny Isaac. Still, I have fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy the work. I enjoy what I do. Definitely recommend if you have like an aptitude in maths and sciences and everything. Engineering is a good option. There's so many things you can do with it. You can be a CAD designer. You can, you know, get into a whole bunch of different industry fields and everything. Very cool. You get to design some really cool stuff. Ooh, a little bit dicey there. Plus, also, as I was taking like the engineering courses and everything, like the knowledge and it kind of helped me visualize more what was happening to, like, you know, the cars going on the track during the race and everything. You know, you can almost not necessarily see the air and see like how the suspension moves and everything, but you can like visualize it as it goes around the corners, which is really cool. So if anything else, you know, doing engineering classes, or even like, you know, looking up like different like engineering like basics videos on like YouTube and everything, and then gradually getting to the more advanced stuff, like it really kind of helps you see the world in like a very different light. You kind of really see like all the different factors taken into design considerations, and then you can look at it like a product or like something that was made, and you kind of put yourself in the shoes of the person creating it, going, well, what factors did the design is for? What testing? How many hundreds of hours of testing did this, you know, tiny little thing go through? And it is very impressive. Even the super simple stuff like, you know, like your standard equipment racks and everything that you see, you know, in like a trailer being used for like an event. Like, you know, they gotta go through like the shock and vibration testing. They gotta be properly grounded. You know, for certain trailers, they need to be EMF shielded and all that stuff. And oh my word, it is cool. And you think that is the simple stuff. And then you get into aerospace and all that, and oh my word, it is so complex, but it is so much fun. Well, even like the simple stuff, like you have like your power drills. You think, oh, it's just an electric motor, you know, with some minor electronics inside. Oh my gosh, the amount of consideration, the amount of testing that goes into that as well. Like, you know, the drop testing, the corrosion testing. What size electric motor? Do they want to use an outrunner or an in-runner electric motor? Do you want more speed with an in-runner motor? you know, higher RPMs with an in-runner motor? Do you want more torque with an out-runner motor? Do you put in reduction gearing? Like all of that. How do you package it? How do you fit it? How do you design it to be, you know, manufactured as quickly and as inexpensively as possible, but still having all of the features we need and still being durable? Like, oh my gosh, it is mind-boggling, and the complexity just gradually increases the bigger the system you're working on. It is so cool. That's why one thing before the Discovery Channel kind of got a little bit weird. One thing I always loved in the Discovery Channel was the How It's Made series. I kind of wish they'd like turn that into like a YouTube series instead, where you know we kind of post all that stuff on YouTube. Because you see, even for simple stuff like tires, the sheer complexity with that, you know, they have the braiding inside and everything, getting the right compounds, how the compounds are created, balancing tire wear and grip, what design you want to put on it as well to maximize if they're going to be used off-road or in high wet conditions. It is very cool. The amount of testing and everything, even the simple stuff goes through. And that definitely helps you not take things for granted as well. Very, very cool stuff. And we are absolutely dominating this race. Low end steering is definitely one of my favorite tracks in this game. And while this is also one of the tracks that the AI has a little bit of issue with, still, I wasn't expecting us to be this far ahead. Especially because I've barely been actually paying attention to the race, and we're up against a Bugatti. Okay, a little bit understeer there. Gotta remember this car has 0 downforce. There we go, nice, across the line. Very good. We beat even the Bugatti EB110. Whole lot of fun stuff being there. I just realized this probably could have been, it's either this week or the next week that is a free week. I'm hoping it's the next week. That's the free week, so I could potentially get a new vehicle. Nope, that was, dang it, that was the free week. Okay, well, we're gonna try to find a different vehicle anyway, because YOLO. I'm gonna see if we can't get a different vehicle. I'm gonna see if there's anything we haven't unlocked. We're getting close to the end in that regards, where pretty much every single vehicle in the game has been. Ooh, never mind. We have one here, the Citroen DS23 Palace. Yes. There we go. Some of the slower cars we still need to unlock. But this would be nice. Fun fact about the Citroen as well. The DS, it actually stopped an assassination attempt due to its hydropneumatic suspension. I forget what politician it was. There was a politician riding in one, and so a gunman tried to shoot the politician, and they even shot out one of the tires as well. But the driver, due to the suspension system, the super complex hydropneumatic suspension on the Citroen, it was able to drive away at speed despite it having a flat tire. And it basically saved someone's life with that, which is really, really cool. A cool piece of automotive history. Speaking of which, I need to like gather all the car facts I have put in, because I've got 50 of them so far. I need to put all of them. I need to actually put them, congregate them all in like a Word document or something, so I don't duplicate any of them, and then I can begin kind of adding more and more of them. I think that'd be really cool. I keep the speed up there. sweet, sweet. Oh yeah, this is one of the novice series races, so this is super easy. It's a shame that Rev City isn't used more in some of the higher end events as well, because you get it's a very high speed track, but it has a lot of good passing points as well. It's very, very enjoyable to race on. It's just a cool track. And I mean, you're gonna be racing against faster opponents anyway, so the track itself doesn't matter nearly as much. It can be a complex or more simplistic track. Either way, you know, it's still gonna be fun to drive on. Let's get around the corner. Oh yeah, this is super easy. Keep the speed going. Oh, slight bump. Slight little tippy tap. Little tippy tap there on the wall. Ouch. That's fine. We still have a chance. We still have a chance to unlock the Citroen. The beautiful limousine. Yes, technically it does classify as a limousine. Yes! Yes! We unlocked it. GG. Oh, look at that. It is quite pretty, actually. I do like the look of it. Honestly, I'd love to drive one of those in real life just to see what it's like. But yeah, I've never seen one in the States. And we got like no no points there. And now we're gonna be switching to an entirely different vehicle as well. Ouch. Damn right, that's alright. We're switching to a multi-purpose vehicle now. So we have a whole bunch of SUVs. Very cool. These cars have crazy looking steering wheels. I think so, yeah. The Citroen, the DS23. I think that the one did have the very unique looking steering wheels, I think. So what we're gonna do, since we have a full list again, is we do have 7 total vehicles here. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6 total vehicles. I can count. Yeah, we can do that one too. But what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna do, where is it? Display capture. There we go. And let's get this up here. Perfect. And we're gonna do a random number generator between 1 and 6. And basically 1 is gonna be the far left, 6 is gonna be the far right, and any number in between is gonna be any car in between. 6. Okay, so that is the Land Rover. Okay, the Land Rover Range Rover. Since we have the completely a new selection now. I actually like it in that green color. That is nice. We're gonna be driving our ranking tank there. Our ranking tank there massively. we get to drive the wonderful Range Rover against much faster vehicles. My cars. Oh, you can always learn. That's the cool thing, is no matter how much you know, how much you don't know, you can always learn more. So for starters, since it's an SUV, we're gonna be lowering it a bit, stiffening up the springs, slightly stiffen up the rear a little bit more. So we do want a little bit of oversteer with this. Set a little bit towards acceleration. Lock the front a little bit, loosen up the rear. There we go. Perfect. And this should help with the acceleration off of the line and help with the tighter corners. Because a lot of the tracks in this game, they are city street circuits. So you want a lot of like the low speed cornering, a lot of the maneuverability, a lot of that stuff. And you know what we're gonna do immediately after that? We're gonna do a rally race. Range Rover versus a G500L. Pure Dakar style off-road racing. Should be cool. Oh my gosh, the Paris-Dakar Rally as well is a very cool event. They're basically racing like in SUVs and like dirt bikes, and like fully tuned like SUVs and everything across the deserts. And oh my word, it is basically an off-road endurance race. And a lot of times, a lot of people there, a lot of entrants, they don't finish. They end up like wrecking their vehicles. And just even finishing the Paris-Dakar Rally is considered, you know, a feat, you know, a massive feat. But yeah, to win the Paris-Dakar Rally as well is even cooler. That's why Mitsubishi, the Pajero, that vehicle, they won, I think 7 times in a row, which is like currently still is the record for most wins in a row by a single manufacturer. Is 7 in a row with the Paris-Dakar Rally. PlayStation, Xbox. So I've been mostly a PlayStation person my entire life, just because you know, I've been mainly playing like the Gran Turismo games and everything. But I mean, nowadays they're pretty much the same. Like there used to be a lot more like console exclusives earlier on, and a little bit more difference between the PlayStation and Xbox. But right now they're pretty much. Do you prefer red water or blue water? But it's like it's still water. Mitsubishi has some awesome trucks. Yeah, they did. They had some really cool stuff. Although if memory serves me correctly, I think didn't they have to change the name of the Pajero in Spanish and Portuguese speaking markets? Because isn't Pajero in those markets, isn't that like slang for something that's very naughty? I may be misremembering, but I do remember it had to be changed. Oh, they did change the name in the States to the Montero, and then in the UK it was changed to the Shogun. So I do wonder like what's, I guess maybe it was to better appeal to like the markets of those regions. But I could have sworn there was one vehicle that had to change the name because like in a certain language. It's always been the Pajero and the British. So, okay, I might be wrong then. There was some vehicle that had to change its name in like Spanish-speaking markets, in Portuguese-speaking markets, because of the name meant something naughty in those languages. I could be misremembering. I could very much be misremembering. I know here in the States it was the Montero, and I think like I said in the people were big fans of the Pajero Dakar for a while. I mean the Pajero Dakar, both the earlier and the early 2000s one as well. Both of them were really cool vehicles. And I absolutely I love the look of like the early 2000s, the quote unquote new gen Pajero Dakar. That one was a very cool vehicle. What are you up against here? Four-wheel drive Range Rover versus rear-wheel drive Silvia Ks. That's gonna be a difficult one. We can try this. It's gonna be tricky. We definitely are a little bit down on tuning and on power compared to the Silvia Ks, but we do have plenty of grip. So we should be able to accelerate out of the corners better. There we go. Use that forward drive acceleration. We have all of the electronic stability control and everything on as well, because this is a premium, high-end, high-dollar SUV. It's weird though, like luxury vehicles. One thing I've noticed is that luxury vehicles, luxury sedans, and luxury SUVs, of all of like the car types, those ones age the worst compared to other vehicles. Like sports cars usually age the best, but like the various like, for example, you look at like a lot of like the older Mercedes of like the 90s and early 2000s, Like a lot of them, they just do not age well. But then you look at like the performance vehicles and stuff like that, you know, like the AMG stuff, and they age a little bit more gracefully. Gotta eat only fruit or only vegetables. If we're talking the culinary definition, as opposed to the biological definition, because if it's a culinary definition, that makes it much more difficult. Oh, sorry, if it's the biological definition, it makes it much more difficult, because you have things like tomatoes and peppers that are considered fruits, but you have things like onions and garlic and all that stuff that are technically considered vegetables. Well, that are still considered vegetables. But if we're only doing the culinary position, then only vegetables. Because I use a lot of vegetables in my cooking. Because I like making a lot of like Mexican foods and stuff. If we're talking the biological definition, that's gonna be a much more difficult one. Because I do use onion, but I also use a lot of peppers in my cooking. And both of them are kind of like staples in what I cook for a lot of things, both like the Asian food, you know, like the curry and everything, and like Mexican and Spanish food as well. So that becomes much more difficult. But I think if we're talking the biological definition, then probably only fruits, just because there's a lot more of that than things that are biologically vegetables. All that means I wouldn't be able to eat lettuce, which is unfortunate, because lettuce is like the thing you put on pretty much every, you know, sandwich with meat and cheese on it. No matter what else, it always has lettuce, just to help kind of complete it with the texture and everything. Either way, I wouldn't be able to eat salsa. The salsa has both fruit and vegetable in it. Same with most pasta sauces, actually. That's a tough one. Yeah, if it's the culinary definition of it, it's much easier though. Because that one, it's vegetables, easy. So I don't use a whole lot of actual like fruits, like culinary fruits in my cooking. But I do always use culinary vegetables pretty much in everything I cook. Even my burgers, I dice up a little bit of onions, mixing them with the meat. And then of course you mix in the seasoning as well when you kind of, you know, you mix up with the ground beef or the ground turkey for your burger patties. Easy here. Okay, so in the slower speed corners, the four-wheel drive and the pure mechanical grip of the Range Rover is definitely helping us a lot. But on the straights, like the longer straights and some of the higher speed corners, the lightweight nature of that Silvia is allowing them to catch us up a little bit. So we're actually fairly evenly matched, despite them on tarmac probably being able to absolutely destroy us. On snow, especially on this track, we're actually fairly close together, with them staying, you know, only about 40 or so yards behind us. Like, I think this is probably the furthest we've been away from them is like 60 yards. And even then, they quickly close it up through this long right-hand sweeper. And then coming out onto the straight, because that's when they're really able to kind of use the power. They're already moving forward. They don't have any issues. When the Land Rover gets kind of in stage 3. Yeah, we're driving through the snow. We're actually using a Land Rover, what it's designed for, off-roading. Someone told me that YouTube won't translate my channel into different languages because it's small. 2 or 3 of them speak different languages. Yeah, I'm not sure. YouTube is a little bit frustrating when it comes to dealing with small creators. It is very It is very difficult. Oh gosh, we made a big mistake there. But there's definitely a lack of transparency. Like, I think if YouTube was more transparent, but they still kept the same policies, but just was like more open about, hey, this is how things work, this is why things work, I think people wouldn't have nearly as much issue with them on the creator side of things. But because they keep a lot of us, especially smaller creators, in the dark, it is a little bit frustrating. Like back in like the 2015, 2016 like adpocalypse as well. Like so many people were like, well, what causes videos to get demonetized? Because people could like, you know, be talking about, you know, they could be, you know, entirely like not show any graphic violence, you know, not swear at all, because they talked about like a controversial subject or whatever. Even in a historical purpose, just stating the facts. Then it's very the video gets demonetized. So it was very, and they'd have other people, you know, swearing up a storm, and they'd still be monetized on their channel. So it was entirely, you know, very, very different. People were trying to figure out what actually caused that as well. Big Google YouTube was so fun. Yes, I definitely miss. I remember the early. Granted, I'm an old fart. I remember like the old, like 2005, 2007 YouTube, and oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Because you with that one, it was more so just create what you want. If people like it, they will come to it. If not, well, okay. It was definitely a lot more basically get views to get more views. Nowadays, it's the algorithm and like different, you know, I don't say buzzwords, but like different algorithm words and everything to get it sent to the right people and everything. So getting started is always a little bit tricky. YouTube used to be an it. Yeah, that's what it started as. Just like Facebook used to be just a means for like college. I'll call myself an old. Sorry, I am old enough to have historic plates. YouTube used to be, yeah, no, like Facebook used to be means so like only for college students as well. Like you had to have a .edu email to even sign up for it. But it's crazy how things change over time. Very, very interesting. But no, okay, I'm sorry. I won't call myself an old fart. It's very weird. It's very strange. Like amongst like other engineers, you know, I'm still quote unquote, you know, the baby of the group and everything. You know, and pretty much every job I've been in, you know, I have been like the youngest by well over a decade, right? But then, you know, when I started VTubing and I started connecting with other like VTubers and everything, they're like, oh yeah, I'm just finishing up high school, or you know, I'm starting college and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, you are very young. It's a different mindset, I guess. Then you look at some of the Hololive people that have like revealed their age, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm in my 30s, or I'm in like my late 20s, and I'm like, okay, that's a bit more reasonable. So I guess it just depends. I refuse to believe people were born after 2000. I know, my sister, she was born. She's an early aughts baby, and she just recently graduated college as well. And when that happened, I realized, oh my gosh, these people were born after Y2K. Very young. I mean, being the big thing more so is just having, you know, like the mental and physical, like more so mental maturity than anything else. I've known some very immature 35-year-olds, and I met some very mature, you know, 15-year-olds. So in that regards, it doesn't matter too much. It's more so just, you know, having maturity and everything. Well, there is nothing out for us right now that we can win a vehicle in. I've just realized that, which is a little bit annoying. So I'm hoping we can at least get some vehicles won. What's this? Ooh, Camaro versus Range Rover. YOLO, let's do it. Camaro versus Range Rover. big V8 American muscle car off-road versus even bigger British SUV off-road. Can the four-wheel drive carry us to victory again? I have to ask again. This game is Enthusia. Enthusia Professional Racing. It's a PS2. It's about as close as you can get to an actual dedicated racing sim on the PlayStation 2. Like in some aspects, the handling model is actually even better than Gran Turismo's. Like the suspension model itself is one of the best on the PS2, because it really kind of calculates the vehicle weight and like the vehicle body roll going through, and you can see as well like the visual center of gravity. That little yellow little yellow dots is what the center of gravity is for the vehicle, and you can see it shifting around as I'm going over bumps, as I'm turning, and the vehicle reacts to that as well, where the center of gravity gets shifted. So you need to be smooth. You don't want the ball kind of bouncing all over the place, left to right and front to back. So that's how you break traction a lot quicker than if you're smooth with it. Come on, get through the turn. Downside is the Land Rover has a very long wheelbase. So some of the tighter turns, it does have a little bit of a disadvantage compared to the high-powered Camaro, which can just kind of like slide through it. Like this tight left-hander here, this is gonna be a tricky one. Trying to Scandinavian flick it. Not having the tire screeching is a +2. I mean, you do get that, but it's easy to kind of tell where the grip limits are in Enthusia, because you can see the tires themselves, the four wheels you see on the center, and you see as they fill up with the weight, that's basically them getting closer and closer to the grip limits. And then when they turn red, that's when they begin to slide and basically go past the traction limits. So you want to kind of prevent them. You want to make sure they fully fill up with white. You want to make sure they don't turn red, or they only turn red like on like the inside tires for like a split second as you're going over like a bump or a curb or something, which is really good. So you can visually see that, which helps, because you normally with like actual racing you can kind of feel where you're losing grip. You can kind of feel the vehicle and how it's behaving. But when you're just sitting in a chair with like a controller, or even with a wheel with twist feedback, it's very difficult to kind of get a sense of how fast am I going, what is the car about to do. So having that the visual center of gravity there kind of helps you better predict what the vehicle is about to do, and it makes it very easy to kind of, or a lot easier to kind of be smooth and fast through the track, through the courses, and making sure you don't overexceed the limits of grip. There was like a 2K soccer minifigure like leaked a while back. I wonder if a Lego soccer game is coming soon. That'd be really cool. You can almost have it in the same vein as like the Mario, like the Mario Strikers. So we have like the different power-ups and everything. And of course, with that, you can have, you can like do something where you can like make the ball a giant, or like, kick it through the goalie, and the goalie kind of like falls into like all the different pieces and everything. I think that'd be kind of fun. We can kind of have like an arcadey like splits game. Plus, also, I'm trying to remember. I don't normally play splits games all that much. Is it EA or is it 2K that has the FIFA franchise? Because like I said, I don't really pay too much attention to the splits games outside of like racing sims or racing games in general. So I don't know who owns that. But if 2K owns that, like the rights to the FIFA franchise, or even if not, there's nothing preventing them from making a soccer game from that. EA has the FIFA games. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. No, that's definitely really cool. It definitely kind of make the sport a little bit more like comparable and everything to people that otherwise don't really play sports games. Just like kart racers are more palpable to like people that don't always play racing games as much. They lost the license. Oh, who has the FIFA license now? Does anyone have it, or is it basically anyone can now kind of like temporarily like use, you know, get the rights to use the FIFA logo? That's interesting, because I know EA has had a lot of sports licenses for a very long time. Like they had the NASCAR. 2K has the NBA. Okay, so 2K has the basketball one. Yeah, that is one of the downside of like the licensing and exclusivity deals, though. Is it prevents the competition in the markets. Like during the early 2000s, you had the EA, you know, the NASCAR games, you know, the NASCAR Thunder Rate games. Then you also had the NASCAR Racing and the NASCAR Heat games as well. And all of them were like really solid entries into the franchise. So you had a good plethora of stock car racing games. But unfortunately, when EA kind of got the exclusivity deal for NASCAR, and I think they still have the exclusivity deal for NASCAR, although I may be wrong in that regards. The games kind of quickly fell off. I think NASCAR 05 was probably the last decent NASCAR game. But even then, like NASCAR, yeah, they used to have the Porsche exclusivity deal for a while. Yeah, that one was that's a bit unfortunate. On the bright side, though, they're partially responsible for Roof being such a well-known manufacturer now, because Roof is basically, under German law, technically counted as their own manufacturer. So you can basically license you know, various Porsches that Roof has tuned and everything without getting a Porsche license, which is nice. So in that regards, you can kind of thank EA for that, because otherwise a lot of us wouldn't have known about Roof. That's behind NBA 2K. Actually did develop Lego 2K Drive as well. Oh, nice. So there is then a chance. It'd be cool to have like another like Lego sports game. You can kind of have like the silliness and like the actual like character customization, but you know, having it a bit more, you know, down to earth, a little bit more like, you know, for people that aren't like super into the sport but still want to have like a fun, you know, party game to play with their friends and everything. That'd be fun. Here we go. All right. Yeah, we are absolutely dominating this Camaro. I like how the Sims... Oh, yes! That would be awesome. A Lego The Sims, or if not a Lego The Sims, a Lego Sim City would be really cool. That would be also really fun. Because then you get to see, you know, the various construction workers and everything. You get to see the building kind of like being built in like real time and all that. And it like not be like, you know, super like immersion breaking of having a building, you know, immediately just pop up out of nowhere. Also, Lego 2K Drive has 2 players. Oh yes, couch competitive and couch co-op. Yes, I love that. We need more of that in games. We need more split screen in games. Because sometimes you just want your buddy over, and you only have one of the games. You don't want to have them bring their own console and everything over just to play a game together on the same couch. Yeah, Lego. To be fair though, any SimCity would be really good. I miss SimCity. Like I've played City Skyline. I've played City Skylines, and it's okay. But it doesn't quite scratch the same itch as SimCity does. Split screen in an open world game. Yes. I mean, I think, didn't GTA San Andreas have a split... It had multiplayer. I'm not sure if it was online multiplayer or if it was split screen multiplayer. But they did have like the multiplayer where you can kind of just cause chaos and mayhem with like one other buddy. And that was very fun. I'm not sure if that was online or not, the multiplayer in GTA San Andreas. It may have been split screen. I might double check real quick. Oh, never mind. It's a mod. I am dumb. It's a mod for GTA San Andreas. The Midnight Club games have split screen in the cruise mode? Yes, they did. They did have a split screen in the cruise mode. And actually, that's one of the things I loved about the first Midnight Club, is with the different like traffic cars you could drive as well. Usually when I have a friend over, we do basically like an impromptu like cruise mode demolition derby between like the ice cream truck and like the Marauder taxi or something like that, where we get to see like which vehicle, who could damage the other person out first. And we kind of keep switching vehicles. I think eventually we kind of did it where we kind of do like a random number generator type of thing. And then we'd get we would pick a vehicle for us, and then we'd have to try to like use this vehicle's strengths and weaknesses to damage out the other opponent before they damaged us out. And that was so much fun, because it just gave you the freedom to just kind of mess around. We kind of like make up our own like game modes and stuff. That's another thing I like as well, is like when racing games have like party modes. Oh my gosh, those are so much fun. Like one thing that'd be really cool for Wreckfest that I've been thinking about is, if you've ever played Dirt 3, the cat and mouse mode in Dirt 3, I kind of want something similar to that in Wreckfest, where you're on like a super tight technical circuit. Remember, you can use your career cars to split screen medical. Yes, that was really cool too, because then basically, because I had a buddy that was also playing Midnight Club 3 around the same time I got it. We both got it around the same time, and so we picked different vehicles. And then like once a week, whenever we go to like visit each other's houses, we'd be like, all right, let's see what cars you picked. Let's see how fast they are and stuff. And we kind of see like, you know, what we liked, what we didn't like about each of the vehicles if we bought them for in our own career modes and everything. So we would figure out which vehicles were fun and which vehicles would like not fun to drive a lot quicker. But yeah, one thing I love in having Wreckfest is like a chase the mouse mode, where you have two teams, and like you have like 3 drivers on each team that are the quote unquote the mouses, right, or the mice. And they're in cars like the lawnmower, you know, the porta potty, the bumper car, the couch and stuff like that. And then you have like 2 or 3 cats on each team as well. And you have basically the winning team is either the first one to destroy every other team's mouse, or to have their first mouse cross the line first. And that'll be a really fun like party mode in Wreckfest that I think that could really add like a little bit more longevity into the life of the game. I mean, a little bit, yeah. Like the cat, like the basically you get or like the chaser and hunter type game mode. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, no, none of the choppers. The choppers are my least favorite thing to drive in Midnight Club 3. None of them felt good. I made the mistake of, when I won Phil's chopper, immediately switching to it because I'm like, oh my gosh, C-Class vehicle. Oh my gosh, look at that top speed. And then trying to drive it, and it felt so bad. It's a shame though, because Phil's chopper looks absolutely amazing, and I'd love to own something like that in real life. But, oh my gosh, Phil's chopper did not handle well. You know, like the party game modes though would be just really fun to have in racing games. Or like they could have something like Infection, which is basically like a tag mode. Well, granted, again, I'm stealing this from like Dirt 3, but Dirt 3 had some of the best party modes, where like one person starts out as like an infected racer, and you're in like one of the demolition derby maps, and you just gotta smash into someone, and they also like get the infection. And then basically you have to last a certain time before, you know, before you know, the game ends, or until like everyone gets infected. I think that this game modes like that would be really fun to add into the online mode and everything. Never use chaperones unless you absolutely have to. Yep, I found that out very early. The sports bikes are viable. The sports bikes are quite viable even in B class. Because they do have much better handling, and they do have the good acceleration as well. You just got to be very careful with them not to fall off. But yeah, choppers are some of the worst things to drive. I ultimately, like, every time, like, I go for, like, the, you know, do a 100% completion run in Midnight Club 3, I groan whenever I see that I have to do chopper races. SUVs and trucks. I mean, yeah, a little bit. Although the SUVs and trucks are a little bit better because they have the aggro ability, which does allow them to kind of make up for the lack of handling by just plowing through most things. And most of the tracks, most of the courses, and most of the streets in Midnight Club are wide enough that you can kind of be sloppy sliding through it, especially with the aggro. So in that regards, the SUVs and trucks aren't nearly as bad to drive as the choppers. The choppers have the fragility of sports bikes without a useful ability. The Gambala SUV is OP. It is OP. Although I love using the Dodge Ram SRT10. That is my truck that I go to, and it is so much fun. But yeah, the Gambala SUV is. It looks gorgeous too. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Porsche Cayenne. The Gambala SUV looks very nice. Oh, you were very slow through that corner, Thunderbird. Ah, 2 British engine vehicles. One thing I wish was more viable was the Gambala, the A-class Gambalas, the one that looks like the Ferrari F355, and the one that looks like the Porsche 911. Both of those I wish were more competitive in Midnight Club 3 because they look gorgeous. The F355 is probably one of my favorite mid-engine Ferraris. Granted, it's very much not reliable and will cost you an arm and a leg to maintain, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm silly, so I like to use the very low with the FX45. That's the thing as well. Like, I wish I love the vehicle customization, and honestly, Midnight Club 3 would kind of do great to have like more class and event specific class and segment specific races. You know, C-class SUVs, D-class muscle cars, or, you know, D-class luxury sedans, so that you can build up more. You can build up more of a collection, and you have more of a reason to kind of use the slower car stuff to career mode as well. I think that'd be really fun. So then you know you get to spend more time customizing and building unique vehicles. And that's part of the fun, is building all the fun vehicles. Denver's won their first ever finals. GG Denver, bravo! By a decent margin too, 100, basically by 11 points. Bravo Denver. Now has Denver? Wait, you said it's the first ever finals game, so they probably never won. They probably never won a championship, if my memory is serving me correctly. Then, so if that's the case, this could be either way. This could be a first. Miami winning from being an 8-seeded team, or Denver winning their first finals. Ooh, nice. Alright, I gotta make sure we watch ourselves here. First turn at the Nordschleife always turns into a cluster, you know what, because everyone decides they want to dive bomb. So we're gonna go forward to the left. Already the Volvo is absolutely destroying us. Believe it or not, that Volvo, that C-Class Volvo in front of us, do not underestimate it. It is an absolute rocket ship when you fully upgrade it. Very quick. A lot of the smaller C-Class four-wheel drive cars they get very quick when you get them to level 10. Remember you telling me that the fleet line has special balance? Yes. But the thing is, by the time you unlock the fleet line, there isn't any event you can use it in. Like you unlock the fleet line in Detroit, where even a B-class car is like near the end of its lifespan, right? So unless you do all the main career mode first and take the fleet line to Japan for like the one C-class tournament there, which is the Asakusa tournament, which is when you're up against like A-class cars like the Lamborghini Diablo, or even if you're in a slower C-class car, you're up against faster B-class cars like the Lotus Esprit and the Viper. Like, you get it's too late for it to be useful. Which is a shame because it is a gorgeous car. With a lot of really cool and unique customization options that are specific to that vehicle, but you just can't do anything with it. It's just not competitive. And that's why I think like they should have like more class and like vehicle type specific events, not only in the main game but like just in general, and actually have it when you enter in a vehicle with a specific class that all the other vehicles are also in that class. Actually, all the lowrider cars in a couple of special finals. Wait, really? What are the other lowrider cars? The Impala, the Monte Carlo. What else? What else is considered a lowrider car? I gotta check this out now. What are some of the other lowrider cars? Cause this is cool. Like I remember just randomly stumbling upon that for the fleet line. But if more vehicles had like the very unique vinyls and everything outside of the manufacturer vinyls, that could be really cool. They give you a reason to continue kind of customizing some of your lower tier vehicles as well. Once you unlock those vinyls and everything, just to kind of see what it can look like. Oh yeah, I'm surprised that the Range Rover is doing as well as it is on the Nordschleife. Like this is a big SUV. Both Impalas. Okay, so the 64 and the 96. The Monte Carlo, the Bel Air, the Eldorado, the DeVille, and the Frontline. Oh dang. Okay. You're gonna have to remind me when we go to play Midnight Club 3 when we unlock the vinyls for those vehicles. That way I can actually check them out. Because oh my gosh, this is cool. I knew about the fleet line, but I didn't know about all the other ones. Thank you for telling me that. Now I wonder if there's any other vehicles that we haven't discovered that have like, you know, special unique vinyls that are just hidden away because not many people use them. Watch like the Hummer H1 have like a super secret like military camo vinyl or something. The poor Hummer H1, too expensive to the point where basically by the time you get enough money for it, you're already using C-class cars. Maybe I can get pictures and share them on Discord. Yes, please. Oh my gosh, that would be really cool to see. Because I want to see what they look like with some of the custom vinyls. That'll explain why, like, for the while I've been trying to figure out like where Oscar's. Oh yeah, no. So I have Streamline set up. So basically, if anyone says Discord, it'll immediately pop up Discord. It'll immediately pop up the Discord join link and everything. So with that, basically that way, if anyone comes in and is like, "Yo, bro, you have a Discord," it'll immediately show them, and I don't have to like put in the chat link or the invite link there. Well, the downside is pretty much anyone can say Discord, just randomly, and then it'll pop up and it'll just pop up the link as well. So I think maybe I should increase the timing between that. Intrusive thoughts are telling me to always mention it. Oh, please don't. There is a timer I can set for that. I can probably set it for something like a minute or so. That way, it's not like immediately every time someone says Discord. But right now, it hasn't been a problem. And if it does become a problem, I can immediately fix that. Like, I literally have the tab for Streamlabs open, so I can fix that right away. The 96 has a vinyl that says Hug Light. That is amazing. Oh man, the 96 Impala is such an underrated. I mean, a lot of the full body GM cars of the 90s and early 2000s, most of the 90s, because that was when more of them were rear-wheel drive. Very underrated, because the chassis itself, like the Impala, the Caprice, all of them, very, very cool, and they can make a lot of power when you tune them properly, and they're very, very receptive to swapping in an LS series engine into them. So you can make some big power. A couple people at the drag strip use a lot of like the Impalas and the Caprices and all that stuff. One person even has an LS swapped Impala wagon that they use a lot in like bracket racing that runs 11s. And oh my word, it is a beautiful. I mean, you know, it's not necessarily a rat rod, but it's definitely more so geared towards racing as opposed to like being a pretty car. But because of that, it still looks absolutely menacing and gorgeous. It's the Caprice wagon. An exclusive pony car, gym pony car here in Brazil. They've got the SS version. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I love hearing about like the super like region specific vehicles. Some of those cars are very, very nice. Like for example, there's a UK specific Mazda that was created to celebrate their 1991 victory in Le Mans. And basically, it was the first generation Mazda Miata that was painted with the green and orange livery that the 787B had. And it was tuned by a British tuning company as well, so it was turbocharged, producing about 200 some horsepower. And it even had a custom body kit as well installed. And it was only like 25, I think, of those, 25 or 250. I may be off by a zero, but a very small number of those made, and they're super valuable now. But the history behind them is so cool. It's called, oh yeah, the GM Impala. Z96 fuel tech has a red. A big turbo. Oh, nice. Big turbochargers. I love it. I love my turbocharged cars. I love hearing the blow-off valve and the wastegate noise and everything. I love my spinny boys. Like, naturally aspirated cars sound really, really good too. But I love an aggressive turbo sound. It really just kind of completes a build. Especially if it's already on a vehicle that was turbocharged. And you just hear it. It just, oh, so good. So good. 96. I'm still laughing at the fact that the Impala has a decal that says Thug Life on it. That is perfect. Even has a Fender exhaust. Oh my word. I need to see this. Give me a second. Oh, sweet. That is a nice car. Honestly, it'd be kind of cool. Granted, I'm not sure how people would feel going from South America to South America again for the next Forza Horizon game. But Brazil could be an interesting spot to do a Forza Horizon game as well. It does have a decent amount of like diversity in the geography and everything. It'd be a cool one. It'd be a very cool one. I think what it would be cool is to do maybe head back to Europe again, and then or head either to Europe or to Asia, and then back to South America and do like Brazil or something like that. Central America, and do Brazil. Yeah, that'd be nice. I just realized that Mexico is technically North America, but you know, I'm an American. I don't understand geography. Ooh. That's gonna be a little bit tricky. That one's gonna be much trickier. Ooh. We could do this, but this is gonna absolutely destroy us. But we could do it. Honestly, what we're gonna be up against for the that Tsukuba. Got a Corvette, so we got a Damaso Pantera. Yeah, nope. No. Alright, let's see what our ranking is. Let's see if this is okay. This is a free week. This is a free week actually, so we can try to find a race that has a vehicle we can win in it. In defense, I think Mexico is considered part of Latin America. That is true. It's confusing. I know where things are, like I can point them out on a map, but like categorizing things as like this is technically part of this is technically part of that. It's a little bit more confusing. Ironically, most of my geography knowledge comes from like Formula 1 and other international motorsport though. Also, welcome to the stream, Rebecca. Hope you're doing well today. Oh, is there any vehicle we can win? We've won a vast majority of vehicles. But so far, I'm not seeing... We could do a Land Rover versus Land Rover match. I might do that. Yeah, we've won most SUVs in the game. I'm not seeing any event where we can actually win a vehicle. Which is a shame. That means we're getting close to kind of having, you know, no chance of unlocking other stuff. We can still win a couple of racing vehicles, but we need a racing car to win racing vehicles, so that becomes a little bit more difficult. So I think what we want to do is I want to do the intermediate match, the duel against the other Land Rover in Mr. Caveway. So that'll be a fun one. I haven't raced on Mr. Caveway in a while. The off-road tracks themselves look absolutely gorgeous. But they're a little bit of a pain to drive in this game's handling model. Oh, side by side into the corner. We have the outside line. Two big SUVs coming through here. I do like the fact that this game makes even driving SUVs fun because you're up against other like SUVs and everything. Like that's the one thing I like about this game compared to like Gran Turismo is pretty much every vehicle you drive, there is going to be a race. Like they make it so that every bit of content can and will get used no matter what you decide, and you don't get penalized for picking a slower vehicle. The game makes it so that most of the vehicles are right around or just above your performance a little bit, and it is so nice. Granted, it does fall apart a little bit when you go to pick like the super slow cars, but otherwise like in most normal playthroughs, like the game does a good job of making sure it stays balanced and fair, which is what I like about it. Okay, this track is super cool. It is very cool. Like I love, like they did a really good job of like the off-road tracks in the game, even the on-road tracks as well. As much as I'm not a biggest fan of like city street circuits, like they did put a lot of detail into the tracks, and it looks so good. Like you have like the underwater like rivers and stuff, and the various lights kind of like reflecting off the cave ceilings. You got the super low, you know, like it feels like you're actually in a cave, and it is just very cool. It is a very tight, very tricky track though. A lot of hairpin turns, a lot of very tricky corners, especially in a car that doesn't want to turn like the Range Rover. But it is still very fun, very enjoyable to drive through. And oh my gosh, that looks good. I wish this game had a photo mode. Like the opening for the game showcases like a woman, you know, taking pictures of all the cars at the races. But you don't actually get a photo mode in this game. I would love there to be. That is one feature of like newer racing games that I wish was in older racing games that I actually enjoy the trend of there being, is the photo modes. Because photo modes really kind of, not only they allow to kind of like show, allow you to share and showcase like the different things you're doing with your vehicle and stuff, but it just, it's just fun. It adds another layer of like, you know, taking the pictures, sharing them online, you know, showcasing. It's not like that, but it's the free publicity as well, because you get someone else taking a cool photo, and someone's like, oh wow, this game looks really cool, and then they go buy the game. Like but to be fair, I love photo mode in general. Photo mode is a lot of fun. Plus, also as a content creator, photo modes definitely help with creating like, you know, thumbnails and everything, and posting on like the other socials. Yo, HQ. Welcome to the stream. I don't know the current conversation, but cool, I guess. The current conversation is kind of going about the photo mode in video games, especially like racing games. And it is one trend in modern racing games that I do like quite a bit. Photo mode in general is just really, really cool, because it allows you to kind of showcase not only like your character, if there's character or vehicle customization, but it really kind of allows you to like showcase like the moments, the fun moments you had in the game, and like share them on like the socials and everything for other people to see. It kind of helps build like a different community outside of just, you know, like people that are competing against each other, competing with each other in the game. It kind of has a more collaborative. It's mostly about kind of more about building like a collaborative community as well, which is awesome. And you can do like, you know, for those of the game devs that are running like the social media accounts and everything, they could do like, you know, like contests and everything, like, you know, photo contests. Take a picture of your character wearing a chicken hat or whatever in like different poses, or, you know, take a picture of like your customized car or something, and it's just super cool. It is very, very cool. But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys' opinions on like the photo mode in games? Good, bad? Something cool to add, like as like, you know, additional bell and whistle, but doesn't really compete with actual gameplay, which is probably actually where I sit. Photo mode, I think, has been a concept for a long time. I mean, kind of. Like Gran Turismo 4 had it back in 05. But like a lot of other racing games at the time, they didn't have it. Pokemon Snap. That's the memory. That is the memories. Oh my gosh. I would love there to be, like, they kind of redid Pokemon Snap, but I'd love there really be a Pokemon Snap. Like, that's honestly what I was kind of hoping Pokemon Go would actually be, or at least have a feature for that. For Pokemon Go, is to do, you know, take pictures of all the Pokemon and everything, with like the augmented reality. I don't really use it. I mean, that's fair. Like, it's one thing where it doesn't really get intrusive if you don't use it, which is nice. But if you do use it, it is very fun. Like, I definitely wish there was more photo mode in like the older racing games. Ultimate Race. Oh gosh. Yep. Nope. That ain't gonna go well. That is not gonna go well. Up against a four-wheel drive beast that is the Subaru Impreza WRX STI. Yeah. No, thank you. Really use it a lot in games. That's all right. That may just be a me thing. I love taking all like the photos in games. They're not always high quality photos, but like different things that happen. It's always fun, kind of like take pictures and like share the memories and stuff. It's in some Harvest Moon and Surly Season games, but I'm more focused on having the routine. True, and especially if time passes, because I know like the time management is super important in those games. Like if time passes while you're in photo mode, I can definitely see how having the photo mode in those games makes it can be a little bit more distracting and a little bit wasteful. But still, I love photo mode. nice and easy through here. It is a wet Tsukuba circuit. We're in Japan. I like the Gran Turismo photo thing. It looks like a Subaru runner. Yeah. Okay. As much as I harp on like Gran Turismo Sport and 7 for taking more time to add escapes locations to as opposed to actual racing events, like the photo mode in the GT games is really cool. I just wish like that was a secondary thing as opposed to the actual racing. But the photo mode itself is very high quality, very cool. So I remember back when I was playing GT7 a lot more, I definitely took up a lot of pictures, especially of, like the classic cars and like the little like European or like little like, you know, American or South American towns and everything. You know, kind of have like the patina paint jobs on like the VW Sama bus. Put it in like the Hawaii beach. You know, take a picture there. Get like a classic muscle car. Put it like at an old gas station. Like, oh my gosh, that was a lot of really cool photos from that. This wish there was more events to use those vehicles in, so you didn't just take time to make delivery and then take a picture of it and then you're kind of done with the car. But oh well. Maybe Gran Turismo 8 can fix that issue with enough of the backlash that happened with Gran Turismo 7. Maybe Kazunori, maybe Yamauchi-san can maybe get his head out of his butt and actually take a look at Gran Turismo 3 and Gran Turismo 4 and realize what made those games so beloved. Hint, it was the driving, it was the racing, it was the cars, actually driving and racing the cars. Hashtag the menu books should have been a side quest as opposed to the main campaign. Welcome back, Dragon Wing. Right now, we are a big, massive SUV chasing down a Mercedes SL65 AMG. Oh, a little bit too late on the brakes there. Come on, get around the turn. And we have a little bit more grip out of the turns and through some of the tighter turns because we do have the four-wheel drive, which is nice on the under acceleration. In the wets, we do get more grip. But that SL65, that's got power, and it's got some really big straight line speed. So we gotta watch ourselves here. Make sure we don't make too many mistakes. That Viper is gonna be long gone. That 7-liter V10 engine of the Viper. I'm surprised it hasn't spun yet. But I guess like he can be a little bit slow and still be incredibly quick on the straights. Just by nature of having massive amounts of power. The Viper is an absolutely terrifying car. The first Viper didn't even have airbags or air conditioning. Like, it was basically a race car for the road. And it's absolutely maddening that they got away with that. And then, like, and people still bought it and everything. Like, the first Viper is definitely a Widowmaker car. Granted, it's the least powerful Viper, only having 450 horsepower, but like somewhere in that range, 420, 450-ish, lower 400 range. But oh my word. Absolutely beautiful car though. I love the RT10 with the target top. Very beautiful car. You don't see too many of the first gen Vipers in race games either. You usually see either the second, third, or fourth gens. The first gen is a little bit more forgotten, which is unfortunate. Like this one here, this red one that's in front of us, that's the second gen Viper GTS. And that one is a very nice car. Very powerful, very quick. The one that's in Need for Speed, Most Wanted, and Need for Speed Carbon, and all those later Need for Speed games, that one's the third gen Viper. And then the 4th gen Viper was one that was released during the 2010s, the mid to late 2010s. That was featured basically in Need Speed Rivals onwards. The more rounded one with the kind of sleeker headlights. And all of the Vipers look gorgeous. It's a shame that they had discontinue it, but I kind of understand why. I mean, it's crazy that the Viper basically went on for 3 decades. I mean, to have, you know, a Halo car last that long, near continuous production as well, is very cool. Like that is almost like Corvette level. Okay, not quite Corvette level. But still very, very cool. Where's the Hellcat Viper Fiat Yukon? Oh man, I mean, to be fair, the Hellcats kind of took over from the Vipers as being like the Dodge Halo car. I'm just surprised no one's Dodge hasn't taken the Hellcat engine and made a Dodge, like a crazy like off-road Dodge Ram to compete against the Ford F-150 Lightning with the Hellcat engine. Like that would be something that was awesome. Sort of a harken back to the SOT10 Rams of like the 2004, 2005, somewhere in that range. Like that would be so cool to have like a Hellcat powered Ram. Oh my word. Although that would probably be a bit of a liability though, because the sheer amount of power with the sheer amount of weight. SRT hell. Call it something like the Hell Bison. Or like the Hell Rammer. That would be a cool one. The SRT hell. I'm a little bit sad that they never made an SRT version of the Dodge Dart. So they made the SRT for the Neon and the Caliber, and both of those they were really quick. As like, you know, lightweight, you know, front-wheel drive sport compact cars go. They were pretty quick. And I wish they made like, you know, an SRT4 version. Oh, the Hellcat Ram Cerberus. Ooh, yes. That'd be cool. The three-headed dog. Yes, that would be nice. That'd be a very cool one. But no, like there was definitely a missed opportunity to make like the SRT4 version of the Dart as well. Like they kind of made like an RT version of the Dart, but it wasn't all that quick. I'd love to see how much like the SRT division could have done with that vehicle, with more modern tech and everything. Like they could have easily broken well into like the 300 horsepower range, I think. That would have been a very cool car. That is one vehicle though I would love to have. I would love to have a Dodge SRT4 Neon. Just to have a crazy turbocharged, you know, front-wheel drive sport compact car. That'd be nice. Oh yeah. See this thing, the Range Rover, when you fully upgrade it, like it gets surprisingly quick for an SUV. Like it's got some mega power off of the line, lots of torque, and a decent amount of grip too. Despite it still being, you know, a big soccer mobile. This is nice. Alright, on to the brakes, get the car turned in. Maybe. There we go. It still understeers just a little bit, which is, you know, it's a four-wheel drive, big top-heavy SUV that's gonna swing its weight around, no matter how much you reduce the weight by. So it's par for the course with this car. But my word, this is nice though. Like it's got some decent speed on the straights. Like you see a Range Rover coming at like 130 miles an hour. That is a terrifying speed for an SUV to be traveling at. That's like the understeer out of corners though, just a little bit. Probably because I locked the front differential just a little bit too much. Otherwise, this is still nice. We're shredding through the field at Bergenschloss. Nice Germantown track. Nice. Oh my gosh, this thing is very nice in the straights. It's got okay brakes too, surprisingly. That's the thing as well. So with this game, you have the weight savings, the grip, the tire upgrades, and the power upgrades. And the thing is, the heavier the vehicle, the more weight it takes off. Because it takes off a percentage of the vehicle's weight that varies by vehicle. But also, the heavier the vehicle, the more weight it takes off, or the weight saving. So you get, with the big heavy vehicles, you get more weight savings with a heavier vehicle. But the odds system assumes every single vehicle is at level 0, which means you can do a lot better by getting a heavier vehicle and getting it to level 10, and then going in higher odd races to get more ranking points, which is very nice. You can get some really good, quite a bit of points doing it that way. Which is why right now, despite it being 4 point something odds, we're doing quite well in this race. Like, we are really powering through this. That's why I'm learning about cars because I know nothing. That's alright. Like I said, if you have any questions about like how things work or whatever, even like the super simple stuff, like I'm more than happy to like gush about that and talk about that. And if I don't know something, I can get up to I'd love to kind of I'm happy to educate whenever possible. Have you seen the Rob Dam 4-rotor versus the 850 track car? Crazy how it can keep up. Yeah, I know. Like, oh my gosh, like the sheer amount of power numbers we're getting from internal combustion engines nowadays is absolutely mind-boggling. Like, we are basically in like the last, until we can develop like net zero carbon fuels with like like algae-based fuels that take in as much carbon as they give off when they're burned. We're kind of in the last hurrah of internal combustion engines, and oh my gosh, it is a major ass hurrah. And I must have one of us a Vespa scooter or something and learn how to fix it up. Never had a car because it was too much money. Yeah, cars are expensive. Cars are very pricey. Even like baseline Toyota Corollas and everything, a little bit pricey to purchase and maintain and everything. But it's fun. You just play racing is the feeling. Like, I mean, that's cool too. Is you get to kind of enjoy. Hang on a second. Sorry, I had to tickle my throat there. Is just kind of playing racing games just to enjoy, driving. That's the thing. You don't necessarily need to know about the vehicle as much. If you want to enjoy it. If you want to just enjoy driving with it. Although the more you learn about it, the cooler it becomes. It's one of those things where the more you dive in, like the cooler it is. Like it's basically like you look at the surface of the ocean versus like if you look below the surface and you see like the coral reef and everything and you see all the creatures and all that stuff. It's kind of like the same thing where it's the more you learn about how they work, the more you learn about like the history of like different manufacturers and car brands and like different namesakes and everything, the cooler it becomes. At least I think so. But I'm a nerd and I hyperfixate on cars regardless, so. Yeah, they cost 10K even for 250,000 miles. Yeah, they do. Cars are gotten. I mean, part of it's the economy right now. With the economy the way it is, we're kind of in a recession-ish recession. We're in a recession without the crazy stock crash yet. Where a lot of people are more so they're spending money. Even wealthy people are spending money on like used cars and everything. Because they're trying to like save up money and everything due to inflation and all that stuff. And so because of that, that's driving up the price of used cars and everything. It's only because you can get a car for $300 to $500 in China. Yeah, but different markets though, different markets and different like regulations and everything too. A lot of Chinese cars wouldn't be able to be sold in the States due to safety features or due to emissions regulations and all that stuff. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, that's a debate for people much more knowledgeable about that than me. But that is the general gist of why they're cheaper as well. That and also, oftentimes it's kind of like the, can I copy your homework? Sure, but just don't make it obvious type of deal with a lot of Chinese car manufacturers. So when you don't have to spend as much developing a vehicle and you kind of just seeing how it works from someone else, it makes it a lot cheaper to develop. Anyway, let's see what vehicle we're going to get. Let's get a random number generator back up. All right, car number 4. So that is the beautiful Mustang Mach 1. Very nice, with the modular V8 engine. And I just found it wild, especially since I always see the recalls here in the USA. That is true. And that's more so due to the things being discovered after the fact, after all the testing. You, as an engineer, you do a lot of testing, and you go through it quite a bit before you really... And even then, when things are fielded, sometimes it encounters conditions that you may have tested for, but even then, it's not quite... it doesn't quite react the same way. Because you can't test for everything. So sometimes, like, something will happen, and they're like, oh gosh, we didn't realize that. And they'll quickly, recall a vehicle and do the technical service bulletin and everything. More so, it's just to protect. It's designed to protect the consumers, prevent people from getting hurt, and all that stuff. So I mean, it's got a purpose. It is annoying though if your vehicle does get recalled, but it does have a purpose. I think we want a little bit more negative camber at the rear. Probably keep it here. The engine is torquey enough. The engine is torquey enough that we don't want to set it too low. The gear ratio too low, because otherwise then we're going to be spinning our wheels just a little bit as we go around turns. What should we do? The low end steering challenge here. The race on the kitty cat. Let's do that for the first race on the Mustang. It'll give us a good baseline of how the car handles. Because the Mustang... Fun fact about this Mustang also has a solid axle rear suspension. So that means if you hit a bump with the rear left wheel, the rear right wheel will react accordingly as well. It'll cause the rear right wheel to move as well. And it'll change the geometry of the suspension a little bit. But on both sides as opposed to just the left side. So you definitely need to watch these types of vehicles over bumps. Went silent for so long. That's alright, you're more than welcome to look. You're more than welcome. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask, like especially if it's relating to what I'm doing, what kind of car I'm driving and everything. But yeah. This is thankfully though, this Mustang, it does have the traction control as well, which does help manage wheel spin. It prevents you from spinning your wheels too much. Because here's the thing, when the tires are spinning, like the sliding and all that stuff, the coefficient of friction is a lot lower than if the tires are just regularly rolling along the road. And that's what's known as a kinetic versus a static coefficient of friction. So that's also why you see vehicles, and they start, you know, they're gripping for the turn. And that's when, as soon as they start sliding, like sometimes they absolutely lose it, and they can't, you know, regain control of the vehicles, because once you break traction, it's much more difficult to gain traction back, and you lose a lot more time gaining traction back in most instances than if you hadn't lost traction at all. And traction control, basically, there's two different versions of it. I mean, technically you have three different versions, depending on how old the vehicle is. You have one, the more modern version uses wheel speed sensors. So in your wheel hub, or, you know, at the wheel hub, or, you know, right by the braking system, for all four wheels, you have what's known as a Hall effect sensor. And basically that determines the rotational speed of the wheel, how many revolutions per minute the wheel is going at, right? And the computer basically says, okay, the front wheels are moving a lot slower than the rear wheels. Why is that the case? And it'll, you know, it'll reduce power. It'll usually cut the throttle to the engine, or cut fuel to the engine, so the engine makes less power, so that you can quickly regain traction. And since it can react a lot quicker than a human can, it would be, you know, it would, you're able to kind of prevent wheel spin much better than trying to modulate the throttle yourself. Downside is, you also then can't brake traction intentionally, and sometimes you do need to brake traction in, like, very, very tight corners in order to get enough of a slip angle to, you know, get around the corner quicker. Would I rather be a YouTuber or a TikToker? YouTuber, definitely. I am... For multiple reasons. Let's just say that due to previous jobs, and due to the security issues with TikTok, especially with TikTok being created by a Chinese-owned company and giving data to the Chinese government, I would not, in previous jobs, I would not even be allowed to have TikTok. And that is all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, no, so definitely YouTuber. There's also the traction control that applies to brakes too, right? Yes. And oftentimes, that traction control usually works directly with, like, the ABS and the electronic stability control. And, because all of those use the wheel speed sensors. Anti-lock brakes, basically they determine, okay, is the car moving? Yes. Okay, why is one wheel not moving? Oh, that's because the brakes have locked up. Okay, let's modulate the brake pressure to that one brake caliper at that one corner of the car. Alright, the wheel is moving again, cool. Let's then apply braking force again. And that's why if you have a car with ABS and you slam on the brakes from, like, a high speed and you feel the pedal, like you feel the brake pedal, you feel it, you know, doing the that's the ABS system. That's the ABS system activating. And basically that allows you, one, it allows you to stop quicker because your tires aren't sliding along the ground, they're continuing to roll. So you're keeping the static coefficient of friction as opposed to the kinetic coefficient of friction. But also, it allows you to then turn. Because when you're sliding, you can't turn. YouTube Shorts is way better than TikTok. Yeah, I enjoy having... That's why also I chose to do YouTube over Twitch as well. Is with YouTube, I can do everything from one singular channel. I don't have to be like... You know, I don't have to create, you know, like, YouTube stuff. And then say, like, oh, check out my Twitch channel here. In every, like, video or whatever. Once I do, like, more long-form content. Or, you know... what have you. It's basically all in one channel. which is very, very nice. I definitely like that a lot more. Sure, it doesn't quite do like streaming as well as Twitch in terms of like emotes, in terms of like, you know, rating and all that stuff. But overall, it's just I like keeping it under one singular channel. A lot of people will just start off in Twitch, and then when they get partner, they stay on Twitch. I mean, Twitch is okay. Twitch. The big issue with Twitch is basically let's stream on Twitch, YouTube, same time before partner. Ah, yeah. For that, they have Restream. It's an app, it's an app for OBS called Restream that basically allows you to stream on two separate accounts at the same time. But once you get partner though, or once you become monetized on YouTube, you can't really stream on both at the same time because both YouTube and Twitch get very, very angry about that. So that's why usually afterwards you need to pick and choose which one you want to be on. The problem with YouTube is that you have to get 1,000 for anything to happen. Yes? Hang on a second. It's 1,000 subscribers. Granted, like I said, this is hobby. I don't... Whatever happens with this. I enjoy this regardless. I am happy with the current audience I have. I love you guys. Yeah, it's a combination of two things. You need 1,000 subscribers, and you need 4,000 watch hours within a period of 365 days to be able to be monetized. Twitch doesn't really care if you stream on or YouTube and Twitch at the same time before you get partnered, because lots of people do it. Plus, also with that, Twitch isn't really making a whole lot of money from you when you before you get partnered. After you get partnered, then you can, you know, run more ads and stuff like that on your channel, and you make a little bit of money, but they make more money off it. It's like a 30-70 split nowadays, where you make 30% of the revenue total generated from like ads and donations. Yeah, I mean, you could me. I only ran the one channel stream with the headphones open as my fault. I mean, as long as it's not like, you know, being disruptive for the sake of being disruptive or what have you. For the most part, I try to be as chill as possible with, like, you know, the stream and everything. You know, getting subs and all that stuff. It's secondary, but like this, I do this because I enjoy playing games. I enjoy talking about cars. If people want to listen to my ramblings and everything. Someone in chat was being toxic. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, no, people, I definitely try to, you know, toxic chatters are not good. That's one thing I don't, I have a very short fuse for. I don't like when people, you know, attack each other and everything. I try to have, you know, positive, enjoyable, chill experience here, even if that means, you know, less people are talking, it's more just kind of lurking and everything. I'd much rather have that, because that's, you know, it's chill, it's fun. Nintendo will actually sequel to 1-2 Switch. Oh, that's cool. I actually enjoyed 1-2 Switch a lot when I was at my cousin's house. I enjoy the party games and stuff. That's one thing Nintendo does really well, is having like first party games that, you know, have the couch co-op and couch competitive nature and everything. It is fun. Yeah, I told them to block me, but I decided leaving them for back. That's unfortunate. I'm glad you're here though. But yeah, there's a lot of, even on YouTube and on Twitch, there's a lot of like other small like racing game VTubers and everything. Like here on YouTube, you have Leon LHK and Trazione Integrale. They're from the UK and Italy, respectively, and they do a lot of like racing games and everything. And on Twitch, you have a whole bunch of. Basically, if you go on like Twitter and you just search for the hashtag like racing VTuber, like there is a lot of us. And we all play like different kinds of games and everything, from classic to modern stuff. There's even like a VTuber when I get a new job, because I'm currently, unfortunately, I'm currently unemployed due to government error. When I get a new job, I definitely want to begin doing the VTuber GT, which is basically, it's a VTuber only championship in a set of Corsa Competizione where they're racing the GT3 class cars. And I want to try doing that. That would be really, really fun. So a different driver from their Snoo branch, Jordan, he kind of talked me into once I get a little bit more money to purchase new games and everything, getting into doing that. And I definitely want to. He's gonna basically kind of be like my driving coach, because he has a lot more experience with sim racing games than I do. And that'd be really fun. Oh boy, easy there. I may have overrevved the engine just a little bit. Oh, that's definitely not good. Thankfully, the game doesn't have vehicle damage, which is good, because the Mustang right now, with the Nürburgring being very bumpy, the Mustang is not the best vehicle for this. Definitely a little bit dicey through some of these corners. Easy there. Meanwhile, we have the four-wheel drive Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, and that is a very, very quick vehicle. It's got the 4G63 engine, turbocharged inline 4, up 2 liter displacement, and it is a very, very, very fast little inline 4-cylinder vehicle. Very, very successful in rally racing, especially with Tommy Makinen behind the wheel. A lot of, if you look at the history of like the World Rally Championship and like the people that have won it, the sheer number of Finnish, like people from Finland, that have won a championship in the WRC is absolutely mind-boggling. Like in a lot of the Nordic countries, off-road and rally racing is like the bee's knees. There is like super, super competitive. Not only competitive, but just very. You know, basically is like a national sport. Like rally racing is like their go-to, because you know they still have like a lot of dirt and narrow like country roads and everything, and they do things like, you know, the folk racing, which is basically, it's kind of like demolition derby but on like a rallycross track. So you get to beat up like tiny like European cars like your Fiats and your Volkswagen Beetles and everything. And they're racing on like a rallycross circuit. And oh my gosh, it's basically like the introduction for most like Finnish people into motorsport. It's a good like grassroots way to get in. It's like dirt track racing into NASCAR racing here in the States. Like 1-2 switch, like a packing game that knows how to do that separately. That is true. That is unfortunate in that regards. It definitely should have been a pack-in game, just so one, you get a good feel of like what all the Switch can do, or at the very least have it available as a bundle option. But yeah, no, it's definitely. I definitely wish that you could have like that was either like a digital download for cheaper, or like you could buy it in like a bundle. Because like the Wii came with like Wii Sports and everything in a bundle and everything, and that was really, really cool. So it kind of really like opened your eyes to the possibilities and why you purchased the Wii as opposed to just using it as a gaming console. It was more so like a fun party console. But yeah, no, hopefully the new 1-2 Switch is a lot better. Rather thought the Pokemon games made by Nintendo, but Game Freak. Yeah, Game Freak makes it instead. Yeah, Nintendo kind of has the license exclusivity to Pokemon, and exclusivity deals. But yeah, no, Pokemon is the monsters and everything are the intellectual property of Game Freak instead. And it was selling a calculator to me for free. Oh, nice. Like a physical calculator or like a calculator app on the Switch. Having a Nintendo calculator, like a physical Nintendo calculator, would be pretty cool. Especially if you kind of also play like the old Game & Watch games on the calculator. Like I'm thinking like a TI-84, you know, allowing you to play like get the different Game & Watch games on it as well with the LCD screen. That'd be hilarious. Oh, the calculator using the mobile phone. Okay, so it's a free app. Cool though, that's nice. If it was a packing game, it would appeal in comparison to Wii Sports and Nintendo Land. Oh my gosh, Nintendo Land was so good. I just realized that I spent like the last like half minute or so looking at chat, and I haven't even like been paying attention to where I'm driving. How many times did I crash? I've been mainly just kind of like paying attention to the map and the left hand side of the screen and just going based off of like the sound of where I am. My driving is probably super sloppy right now. It's not free. Oh no. Dang. It's unfortunate. Because you already have the free calculator app on the phone. Like, it better have some cool features in it to make it worth being paid, like paying like, you know, pay like a $1 or something for it. You know, Nintendo Land was super underrated. My favorite was the my favorite was the Luigi's Mansion one, where you're the ghost and you're trying to capture like the ghost hunters and everything. That one was really fun. What? I have the $10, bro. That's too much. That is way too much. Like, wow. Jeez. Yeah, that was a joke for a while. Hopefully it's a little bit cheaper now. Jeez. $5 for a calculator app. Nah. I could get a physical calculator for cheaper than that. But, you know, they definitely need to make a sequel to Nintendo Land for the Switch. That'd be great. I'm gonna go get my Nintendo Switch and play Animal Crossing Horizons. Oh yeah, my wife has that game. She loves doing all like the decorating and stuff like that, getting all the cool items and stuff for her island. She's got lots of trees on her island. She's basically kind of turned it into like a campsite island as opposed to like more houses and everything. That's pretty though. She right now she's trying to complete all the whatchamacallit, the museum stuff. She's trying to get all the paintings and everything from the fox. It's $9.99. What the heck? No, that's way too expensive. That is. Why would you even pay that? Nintendo. What? I could understand like $1, right? You know, to have a thematic calculator and everything, because it's a calculator. The program behind that is mostly it's relatively basic, unless it's a scientific calculator where you're doing like, you know, integrals and stuff like that, or you know, all of that. But no, instead it's just a standard you know calculator. That's nah. I see different types of fruit trees on islands. Oh, nice. Yeah, my wife. I like to tease her because when she chops down a tree to get wood and everything, she leaves all the fruit on the ground and everything. So I like to tease her a little bit on that. Looks like the calculator on my iPad. Nintendo, you are ripping people off. Nintendo is massively ripping people off. Those ones sell once. Really? That's... Bruh. that is. See, this is why Nintendo. I have a love-hate relationship with Nintendo. They make high-quality consoles. They make some really, really good first-party games. Like, consistently high-quality first-party games. So, like, you know, you think, oh, wow, this is great for the consumer. It's like, you get your money's worth with it usually. You normally get your money's worth with a Nintendo game. But, like, they do other stuff that is so anti-consumer. It's like, I want to like you, Nintendo. Stop making this difficult. Like, re-release old games on Steam, so that people that don't have the money to buy a Switch can still, you know, pay $10 to $15 for like a SNES game that they otherwise wouldn't be able to play. Do that, maybe, or if anything else, have like an online. If you don't want to do it through Steam, create like a first-party like online shop. And then give support to like the people that do like the Dolphin emulator and that kind of stuff, so that people, you know, that do emulate on like PC can buy the games legitimately as a digital download or from like your website or something. Like, that would be so cool. And Nintendo would easily make like, you know, at least $60 to $100 for me just for being able to play a couple of like the F-Zero games again, as well as some of the Legend of Zelda games. Like, that would be awesome. And instead they do like the DMCA takedowns of like emulators and everything. Like, people want to play these games, but they don't necessarily have the money for the consoles. At least then sell them the software. Like, you don't see Microsoft saying you can't use Windows on an Apple computer. Like, you like, sure, there's... Okay, that's a bit less of a comparison, because Microsoft is mostly a software company. But, you know, whereas Nintendo is kind of a hybrid software-hardware company. But, like, Nintendo could make a lot of money out of that. But, oh well, that's their decision, I guess. This is my second Animal Crossing island, and I'm almost back to where I was on my first island. I got year one on my first island. I know this island took a few weeks. Well, yeah, as you learn like the mechanics and everything like that, where things spawn and how to do things, it becomes a lot quicker to go through it, which is very, very fun, very enjoyable. Like the first time I played through like some of the early Need for Speed games, like it took me multiple weeks to get through. And then like nowadays, I can easily get through like Need for Speed Underground 1 in probably about a week max. You know, if I dedicated like, you know, every non-working hour to playing that game, I could easily get it done in like 3 or 4 days. Like it'd be pretty easy. I could probably be Underground 2 within like a week and a half. Same goes for Most Wanted. But like the first time you play through, you take your time. You're like, you know, you're learning everything. So it becomes very, very different an experience. Street Fighter 6 is out. Yeah, I saw that. I saw some of the I saw some of the videos on Twitter and everything. That looks really cool. I wish I was still doing fighting games. Ever since I kind of damaged my hand, I haven't really been able to do fighting games as well. So it's more so I kind of stay on the pulse for that stuff, and I still watch a lot of fighting game content. But I'm not nearly as good at fighting games as I used to be. I can't do like all the combos that I used to be able to do. But like, oh my gosh, like all the character models and everything. Very, very cool. Almost 11 p.m. and Isabel said good morning on the news. I wonder if like it's time setting on the Switch or in Animal Crossing itself that you have set up where it's, you know, a different time zone or something. Maybe. I could be wrong. 3, 4 to 6 character creation is so funny. Yeah, I was seeing a little bit of that too, but even like the base, like not the baseline characters, but like the standard roster characters. Oh my gosh. I mean, Cammy be looking nice. Cammy do indeed be looking nice. Same with Chun-Li as well. Delicious. You have to play competitive. You can play like I do and do the storyline and hope. It is true. I might do that. Right now though, I like mainly focusing on like the racing games with a little bit of like JRPGs on the side. Depending on how things go, I may do a little bit on the I may do a little bit of like Street Fighter. It's been a long time since I've actually played a Street Fighter game as well. Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, I may. It's definitely gonna be in the back of my mind. I might do that. Yeah, like it depends. I used to love playing fighting games, but like I said, I'm way out of practice. So if I do play it, it'll probably be a little bit cringe of, oh my gosh, how do's I Hadouken? Is that on island? Oh, nice. I do like the games with like the internal clocks and everything. Like that was always super cool. That's the one thing I like about like the Pokemon games as well. Is the is having the time of day and everything, and even like the season effects for like Pokemon Black and White affect like not only like what Pokemon show up and everything, but like the different reactions to people. And even in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, the different music, like the nighttime versus the daytime music, was like a completely different vibe. And oh my gosh, it was absolutely gorgeous. I kind of miss the 4th and 5th generation Pokemon aesthetics. Like that was like peak Pokemon for me. But I mean, the new 3D. The new 3D Pokemon games, I guess they're pretty cool, but it's not the same for me, I guess. I don't know, the last Pokemon game I played was Platinum. Oh, Platinum was good. Platinum was so good. I love the villa you got when you became the champion up in the one island. And you can like customize it with like the different interior decorations. You can customize your base as well. I remember like playing Capture the Flag in the underground. And like digging for gems and everything. That was so much fun. I didn't get into Pokemon since I like the storyline and characters for battling. When battling was the focus. I might get Violet. Yeah, no, I definitely prefer like the storyline. Like I said, like I said in the last night's stream, I mainly play RPGs for the story. And like for the world building and everything. Like sure, the battling mechanics are cool and all that, but like I won't play like an RPG just to grind. I like to go too easy. I wanted more like the Final Fantasy and Xenogears. You know, like I definitely I don't like grinding in RPGs, but like I enjoy like going like the story in like JRPGs is always so good. But like, oftentimes it takes so much grinding just to get anywhere. So I haven't played any Shin Megami Tensei game, but I have played all 3 of the Persona games. Persona 3, 4. Okay, the three more well-known, more mainstream Persona games. I played Persona 3 PES. I'm trying to remember the acronym after that one. I played Persona 4 Golden, and I've played 5 Royal. And I enjoyed those. Those are really cool. But I've not played a direct SMT game. I haven't played the first 2 Persona games either. I've heard mixed reviews on those. One of my former coworkers is a big Persona fan. A big SMT fan in general, both Persona and the SMT games. And he likes talking about all the the different characters and like the personas and everything. And he says Persona 2 and 1 are very different compared to 3, 4, and 5. So it's definitely a very different experience. I have a very special Pokemon game. It's Pokemon Legends of Arceus. It's gonna come out with another Pokemon game. Oh yeah, that one, those ones, like the Pokemon like Explorer games and everything like that. That one is very cool. Also plays Shin Megami Tensei Devil Spy without grinding. Oh, sweet. I may have to give that a try then. That is a big thing. That is a big thing that kind of turns me off from like JRPGs. Is the grinding. Like I don't mind like random encounters and battling and stuff like that. That's par for the course for like the game and everything. I just don't like you gotta be level 93 to have this one specific move in order to beat the boss. Otherwise, you get completely shreked. That's when I don't like the JRPGs. But I enjoy. But I love the story in a lot of like RPGs though, which is what makes it difficult. Because I'm like, oh, I want to love this game, but playing through it more than once is going to be an absolute pain. Jeez, I can imagine doing like a lower level challenge run is an absolute nightmare. Like I know in Chrono Trigger, we were definitely at a fairly low level going through that in comparison to how for other like first time completions. But it is still we still managed to get through it. But it definitely we had a few issues here and there. SMT Devil Survivor, you can customize your character, but you can't be a jack or a trade. You have to be magic, nuke, or physical. Okay, cool. Very cool. So you have the cool character customization. And you're like level 50 or 60. Okay, see that's... provided you can be like, through normal gameplay. If you can like beat the game through like normal gameplay without like grinding and stuff, then I enjoy that. Like, I don't mind, fighting enemies and random encounters and like doing side quests to level up. But it's basically like, you need to be like, a certain level to even have a chance against the final boss. Then it gets a little bit annoying. Or you need to have this one special item that costs like 5 bajillion gold. And the only way to unlock it is to kill like 300 zombies in stage 1. Tom was trying to get demons to acquire specific amounts of money and levels. Ah, yeah, that's a little bit difficult. Like I said though, if you can get those levels and that money like through normal gameplay, that's fine. Like you doing like the challenge run and everything. But like if you're just going through, you're battling, with the random encounters and all that, that's fine. Oh, that's what the demon layout and the character layout you have. Okay, cool. Nice. So it's more. The level itself is only like a slight boost, but the other things actually help out. We got time for probably one more race, I think, before the end of the stream, because it's getting close to midnight. And do have another early morning tomorrow. You can get money levels through normal gameplay and some optional play. Okay, sweet. I may have to check that out then. There's a lot of... So Chrono Trigger was technically like my first like actual like JRPG that I've mainly been playing like one of my first JRPGs. So I definitely want to kind of expand my horizons, play a little bit more, do a little bit of Western RPGs as well. It'd be kind of fun. But Island 2 and Animal Crossing New Horizons, just a question mark over and over and over again. I bet that sounds very interesting. Like having a physical see is better and simple than the magic one, and each game has different paths. Oh, I do like the different paths aspect of it. That's cool. It definitely adds a little bit of like replayability and stuff. One of my favorite RPGs though, RPG series is the Mass Effect trilogy. That game is those 3 games are just so good. The story, the world building, the characters, and everything. Mass Effect is like top. Granted, it's Western RPG as opposed to Eastern RPG, but Mass Effect is like top tier for like Western RPGs. We do play Devil Survivor. I get Overclocked, has the extended endings. What systems is Devil Survivor Overclocked on? So I can maybe look into that and see if one my PC can run it. Because if I have to run it like an emulator, or if I need to get like a capture card, if it's a more modern PlayStation console or something. It's on 3DS. Oh. Okay. I will have to look into the best way to stream 3DS then. That may take a little bit of time. But yeah, that could be cool. Oh gosh, a little bit of bump there. Because obviously I don't want to just have a camera pointed at my hands playing a 3DS or whatever. You know, that'd be like the most awkward screen capture. Like I definitely want you guys to be able to get, you know, more of the actual experience and everything. When you can soft lock yourself out of the ending in Devil Survivor. How do you do that? So I don't. Man, I'll probably forget it because I'm trying to take in so many moments. But you can find under versions of Overclocked out there. Oh, sweet. I'll definitely have to look into that. Like I said, I've played the main 3 Persona games. But I haven't played any actual S&T games. Without spoilers, you need to talk to everyone. Oh, so that's how you unlock yourself out of the ending, out of an ending. Interesting. I wonder if that was intentional or not. You need to talk to people in a specific order. Okay, so it probably wasn't intentional then. And it's probably just like a bug or something. But jeez. Ouch. I can't imagine like being like the first person like find that. And then like being like, guys, I talked to everyone and now my game won't let me pick this one ending. Or it didn't even give me the option. What did I do wrong? And then someone else is like, well, I talked to everyone and it let me do it. You're like, well, why? If you talk to people outside of the ending branches, you can miss a conversation and stuff like yourself out of it. Oh, jeez, that's dreadful. Because especially like JRPGs are long. Like you get your money's worth in terms of like the time it takes to complete JRPGs. So I can imagine trying to go for that ending and accidentally soft locking yourself, and then needing to either go back to a previous save. Or, oh my word, that was dreadful. Or you know, having to completely restart the game over again if you only use like one save file. Like, that'd be dreadful. Yeah, except from someone on Game Facts. I didn't finish the game because I was locked out of it. Oh man, that poor person. Rippin' pepperoni. And I realize I'm getting very tired because my driving is all over the place right now. It's getting very, very sloppy. I gotta restart the game from like several battle scripts. It's like 3 battle scripts. Ouch, that's dreadful. Like I can't imagine, you know, going through that, you know, probably like 100, 110, 120 hours, and then getting to the end and being like, oh gosh, I need to completely restart the game over again. Hopefully the next time it takes less time because you know what you need to do. We have a good rest. Thank you, thank you. Like I said, I'll be completing this race. We got like half a lap left. But yeah, you can see I'm getting a little bit slidey. A little bit. You know, I'm missing my apexes in the Mustang. Braking point is getting a little bit later and later. One thing I do want to do is when I take up sim racing again. Well, I know, but I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. I mean, with that, you can at least get as close as you can to the end, and then you can at least see, you know, look it up on like YouTube or whatever, see the other endings and everything. So I mean, it's you can kind of pseudo complete it. You have to refuse demons too. Oh wow! So you have to like, you know, do a different, like an entirely different run then. Ouch. Yeah, that's difficult. Oh my gosh, we're losing to a classic Corvette. Yeah, we're not gonna get any points to upgrade the Mustang in this race. Very sloppy driving right now. I apologize. One thing I would love to do is, once I get into sim racing, is I'd love to do a 24-hour event with a couple other like VTubers. Like either like the 24 hours of Daytona, the 24 hours of Nürburgring, in one of the slower class cars, where you swap out like the drivers and everything. I think that'd be really cool. Doing like iRacing, whatever. Do it like as like a charity event or something. That'd be really cool. And I was gonna do a no free battles. That means I have to go and maximize things again. Use specific demons again. Ow! Jeez. Yep. Nope. I definitely agree with that. I would probably be like, nope, not playing this game in a long time. That'd be dreadful. That'd be absolutely dreadful. Yeah, our ranking definitely decreased just a little bit there. That's fine. That's okay. Alright, I'm probably gonna be ending the stream here. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, please leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what I'm doing well in the comments below. If you didn't like the stream, please let me know what I'm doing poorly so I can fix that in the future. That being said, I've been Isaac Umbras. Wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is for you, I do hope it is a great time. And I hope to see you on the next stream. Till then, take care everybody. Bye bye!